I'm going to be streaming out the spreadsheet, but you do not need to see the spreadsheet in real time. Honestly, a really good use of your monitor would be having Google open for some of this weird bullshit, like tenuous bullshit for the first few years.
All right.
So we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hey. I'm excited to I don't know if I'm gonna be like way harsh on everything or way lenient. I have a feeling I'll be more lenient than James, but I mean now we'll actually have numbers to determine that.
Maybe for the later years. Did you give a retweet?
Yes.
Awesome. I was about to say, I'm seeing more people jump in conspicuously right as we're getting started. So I'm gonna set it live. Everyone in the chat, can someone just confirm that you can hear both myself and Neal? There were some audio mishaps in the pre-show, and I just want to make sure that we're both audible before we invest a lot of time into this. So yes, if you saw James's stream, you understand the premise. I have a spreadsheet of every single game Nintendo of America has ever released.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I mean, like, I'm fine with that.
Yes, so to be clear, if it's Europe only and Japan only, thanks, Jared Goblin, then it's not in here. There's some weird esoteric things. The line of, like, what counts and doesn't count on, like, software-shaped games or, like, game-shaped software sometimes gets a little murky. But I did my best to try and draw a relatively consistent line. The other thing is that if Nintendo published a third-party game in the U.S., it counts. So like,
yeah, so like Bravely Default would count.
Yes, Dragon Quests are for the DS are here.
Yeah.
And that's how
was Dragon Warrior on NES?
That was NX. That was not Nintendo.
Okay.
I think.
I know. I think it was just tied to Nintendo Power.
Yes, it might be. Actually, no, I think it is in here. So yes, Dragon Warrior 1 is.
Yeah, I don't think the rest of them were.
No.
Yeah, because 2 and 3 both did come to America. It was 4 was the first one that didn't.
Yes, not until 4 on the DS do we see another Dragon Quest on this list. But basically, you can call that the Pokemon Company rule.
Yeah.
Of Pokemon games should probably be on this list.
Yep.
One thing. Actually, 1 second. Sorry, I just had to turn some lights on. One thing that you are going to need to decide before we get started. So James, when he ranked, decided that he wanted to take every game in the context of the year it released and kind of rate it based on how it was received at the time or how he would have received it at the time. You do not have to do the same. If you want to kind of just be fluid, or you can be like if you really want to go all the way opposite, you can rate everything by 2021 standards.
I mean, that just seems like I think, especially with a lot of these games, I mean, even just glancing at this list, it's stuff that I haven't played. If I have played it, it has been a while. Sky Skipper and Donkey Kong might be the 2 most recent games that I played looking at this list.
Yeah.
And those were like for 20 minutes on Switch at best.
Totally. So like
I think my way of doing it is based on like if it's something that like I mean I guess like basically mid-90s and later stuff that I would have experienced when it came out, I will 100% be like, okay, like in Super Mario 64 blew my mind when in 1996, that's probably going to be a 10 out of 10. Whereas if I were to do it now, I'd probably be like, well, you know, the back half's a little rough, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But for all the stuff that's like the 80s primarily, I think I'm going to do that of how I would have experienced it growing up. So if I were to come across Sheriff in an arcade when I was like 8 years old in the 90s, that will be what I will try to base it on about how I would have received it then. So kind of like James, but it just also with a lot of this early stuff.
Yeah.
I ain't played these Game & Watches.
Yes, this is a very there's a lot of ways that you could approach this. I just want to make sure that it's consistent.
Yeah.
Per person.
That's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay.
Especially there's gonna be some stabs in the dark.
Yes.
On some of this, I'm familiar with some, but not all of these Game & Watch games.
And that is why Google is your friend. And then the other thing is, another couple things. One, if you super don't feel comfortable rating a game, we can delete it, we can remove it. But like, if you're like, I just have absolutely no opinion, and I'm looking at this and I still can't put a number to it, whatever. Or 5 is a safe bet, because if you give it a 5, it doesn't impact the average in any way.
That's probably what I'm gonna do for games that like I mean I'm looking up Space Launcher right now, which is a game that I know basically nothing about other than it's kind of a breakout clone.
Yep, sure is.
That's probably just gonna get a 5. I mean we could start it off by doing that. Because I've never played that game.
Sure.
I'm probably never going to play that game.
Mm-hmm. And then the only other thing is that, and I had to remind James of this a couple times, this experience only works when you use the full 10 points.
Yep.
Because we're using averages. So if you give bad games 6s, then our numbers are going to be dramatically skewed.
Yeah.
So even if it's not the NWR review scale, 10 not being like the best game ever, but like 10 being like holy shit, holy shit.
Super Mario 64.
Yeah, like 10 being a holy shit and 1 being a holy shit is basically a good way to put it. And then 2 being like a balanced Wonderworld. Sorry.
I don't know, where would I slot that demo in? Yeah, because like
2.
I think 2 or 3. If I was like
that demo,
the boss battle at the end wasn't terrible.
Fucking that demo ending, and it should have just been a screen that just says this game is a $60 game put out on a disc by Square Enix.
Oh my god,
that's what that demo should have been.
I wanted to approach the Balan Wonderworld demo with positivity, and it was almost immediately I was like, oh no.
The only thing I had heard about it was that the night it had come out in Japan, but before it came out in the West, GX was in the chat here just saying, so that Balan Wonderworld demo, huh? Yeesh.
Yeah, I mean, I think
like,
he was the first person that I saw comment on it in the NWR Discord.
Yeah, I was
and it kind of prepared me. I was like, it can't be that bad, and it was.
I mean, if he's here, I'll bully him a little bit. GX likes some Sonic games that I think are hot trash, so I was like, I mean, that's a bad sign.
That's what made me even more surprised. GX seemed like a person that I would have pegged to like be lenient to Balan Wonderworld. It is so weird seeing some of the comments from people playing the demo and be like, I don't know, this looks really fun, and I'm like, what happened to you?
Yeah,
like,
shout out to
okay?
Arcest. Hey, Pikmin was okay.
Pikmin's not bad.
That was serviceable.
I mean, that might be the definition of a 5 by this ruling. Maybe I don't know.
6.
Like,
it's a little above. It's
yeah.
I like that they got Pikmin working in a 2D format.
Yeah, like it's a neat idea that you're like, okay, there's not as much meat here as I think they might have thought they had.
All right, let's get started. Because if there's one thing we learned from going through this with James, is that there's a lot of games. Sheriff.
Yeah. So Sheriff, I actually have played it. It's been a long time. Mm-hmm. I remember it being okay, but I think that using my now defined metric of if I came across this game in an arcade in the 90s, I went up playing this on like an emulator in the 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I probably wouldn't think this game is that great. I'm gonna give it a 3.
Okay. Oh, by the way, feel free to adjust your matrix, your rubric, if and when we get to some games that have maybe aged very problematically. If you
I might do that.
Even if you might have, in the 90s, not thought twice about it. Space Firebird.
All right, let's see what the hell Space Firebird is.
Off to a roaring start.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so this just looks like a Space Invaders clone.
There's gonna be a lot of this.
Um, uh, just because of the fact that while I do enjoy the original Space Invaders, there haven't really been a lot of Space Invaders clones that I have liked that much. I will give it a 4.
Okay. May I just remind you that the reason that Donkey Kong stood out was not just because it was good; it was because it was
Yeah.
original.
Yep.
And like Pac-Man comes out and suddenly every game is Pac-Man. Space Invaders comes out and suddenly every game is Space Invaders, and then you
Yep.
have Donkey Kong, which makes it actually stand out tangibly.
Okay, so Hell of Fire.
Yep.
This is a submarine game. It looks visually kind of cool looking at screens and videos, so we'll give it a 5.
Okay. Radar Scope. The game that needed to get converted.
Yeah, that's gonna.
That's
Do I
the
go-
only thing people remember about Radar Scope is that the cabinets became Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Because it's not good. I don't think I've played this one before.
It's not good,
But-
dude.
Oh god. Okay. Yeah. Now looking at screens of this, I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah, Radar Scope fucking sucked. Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. I'm gonna go 8 with Donkey Kong.
Hell
Thinking
yeah.
about like because that was a game that I played. I think DK94 might have been my first exposure to like playing Donkey Kong more sustained. But I want to say I played like we'll get to the NES version of that. The arcade version was one that I never really had the opportunity to consistently play, and that's why playing it on Switch was really neat.
Yes.
But like that original Donkey Kong game is very good.
Yeah, how old were you when you realized there was a fourth level?
That was probably, I want to say it might have been at like Hershey Park when I was 14.
Amazing. Yeah,
Like,
a
that
lot of
was,
people
like,
don't
I
know
think
about
I
that
was-
fourth level.
Yeah. Because I played it so much on the NES version, and like I knew it was a worse version of the arcade game, but I was like, well, this is what I have access to, not knowing that there was a fourth level.
Yes.
So
Sky
Sky Skipper, it's like a cool idea that doesn't really land as well, but I don't think, especially thinking of it compared to other games in this era, I don't think it's that bad, but I still don't think I'm going to go higher than 5.
Yeah. It is, the story behind Sky Skipper is infinitely more interesting than
Yeah.
Sky Skipper.
Yeah, like that's why like I loved having, oh god, I forget the guy's name.
Yes.
The guy who showed up at that E3 to talk about Sky Skipper, like that might have been the best part of that E3 was
I
having
was
him
on
like,
the floor and was literally had just casually looked up at the treehouse stage to see what they were talking about, and I just saw the words Sky Skipper on this background, and I'm thinking, what the fuck are they talking about up there? Because you can't hear them. And
Yeah.
so I just pull out my phone and go to Twitter, and people are like, they're releasing Sky Skipper? And I'm like, what the fuck?
So Space Demon's a 3. That looks like a spiritual successor to Space Firebird.
Yes, I was going to
feel
say,
like-
take one guess at what Space Demon
Yeah.
is. DK Jr.
DK Jr. I think I'll give it a 6.
I like playing DK Jr. a lot, and I really hate the climbing sound effect. It's really grating.
It is disconcerting.
Popeye.
I don't know if I've never played Popeye. And isn't it's basically just Donkey Kong.
Yep.
Is it supposed to be better or worse than Donkey Kong, or is it
Worse.
just identically Donkey Kong? It's
It is
worse.
Miyamoto's next game, yes.
Okay, let's go 5.
Mario Brothers Arcade.
So the arcade version,
It still sucks.
it does still suck. I need to just keep this in mind for when we get to the NES version.
Oh,
But
we can
I'm
always
gonna-
go back and cross-reference.
Yeah. I'm going to give the arcade version. I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Yeah, once we get to Black Box NES, we will know.
Yeah.
And then the last arcade...
Because I'll just say with Mario Brothers is that I think the arcade version is the best version of that game.
I agree.
So the ceiling is a 4.
And then Donkey Kong 3.
So Donkey Kong 3 is weirdly almost like a Space Invaders clone.
It sure is. You got Stanley the
Kind of.
Bugman.
But I actually think it's kind of good. Like it's not amazing.
It's neat for what it is.
Yeah, like I'll give it a 5 because I think that if I were looking at comparing it to Donkey Kong Jr., I would still give Donkey Kong Jr. the edge.
I agree. All right,
And now
welcome to
the Game and
hell.
Watches.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have, let's see here, about 25 to 30 Game and Watches to go through
Holy
real quick.
crap.
This is everything Nintendo has put out from 80 to 83. I just lumped in one group because otherwise it would just be like, here's the 2 games they released. All right,
So
Ball.
I will say, I think well, I'm not that well versed in every single Game and Watch. Like there's some like I know we'll get later. I think there's like some sports ones that I've like occasionally looked at eBay auctions and be like,
Yes.
I should try to get this, and I'm never gonna get those. I do really like Ball. Like it's it's a game that I probably had my longest exposure to it was on Game Boy Camera.
Sure, yeah.
And I actually like spent a good deal of time playing Ball on the Mario Brothers Game and Watch that came out last year. Um, for that reason and that reason alone, the fact that like I find it kind of soothing. I'm gonna give Ball a 6.
Wow, okay. Flagman.
Flagman Game and Watch. Okay, I think I like a
Google
lot
Images
of these,
is going to be your friend for the Game and Watches more than Google.
yeah, yeah, because like I've seen most of these games.
Yes.
Let's give Flagman a 4.
Vermin.
All right, this is it'll be easy. I can just keep Game and Watch it in the
Yes.
Google. What's Vermin? Oh, I don't. I'm gonna give this one a 3.
Okay. Hi, GX. We were talking about you and Balan Wonderworld earlier. Fire.
Oh, Fire. I'm gonna give Fire a 4.
Judge. Judge fucking sucks, dude.
Oh God.
Even by Game and Watch standards, Judge fucking sucks.
I think I might give it a 1.
Yep, sounds good.
That might be my first one.
Manhole.
Manhole. Is this? I'll give Manhole a 3.
Generous. Helmet. Not to be confused with Octopus.
Okay, which one? I'm gonna give Helmet a 2.
Lion.
I'm very much not overthinking the Game and Watch rankings. I'm just
Dude.
going by like, do I have a positive memory of this at all?
Fucking no.
Lion, I'll give it a 2.
Parachute. As a reminder for people while Neal is looking at this, these Game & Watch was not a system. These were all like $30 each in the 80s.
And they are several $100s now.
They are fucking bad.
Okay, Parachute, I'm gonna give it 2.
Octopus.
Okay, Octopus, I just
That
need
is
to
one of the better Game & Watches.
Yeah, I'll give Octopus, I'll give it a 5.
No worries, GX. We have Neal on
Popeye?
Google now. Popeye for Game & Watch.
What the hell is this one?
There's gonna be a few of those, I promise. Oh wait, what the shit is this?
I will say like the way they have it displayed on the screen looks kind of cool, but I don't know if this game looks fun.
Sounds like at minimum
Sounds like a
4.
Game and Watch. I'm gonna say 3.
Oh wow, okay. Chef.
Chef is. I'm gonna give Chef. I'm gonna give Chef a 5.
Okay. Egg.
Why is there one that's called Chef and one that's called Egg?
Different products, dude.
Oh, is Egg a wait? Is Egg a Mickey Mouse one or no?
No,
that
Mickey
just
Mouse
came
is
up, right?
next.
Okay. Well, then maybe I can do a 2 for 1 because they both displayed when I searched here.
Careful, because there's 2
Okay.
Mickey Mouse ones, so be careful.
All right. I'm gonna give Egg a 4.
Okay. Game & Watch Mickey Mouse, not Game & Watch Mickey and Donald, which is different.
Okay. It's weird to think that there were Mickey Mouse Game and Watches.
Oh, there's a surprising amount of Mickey Mouse product through Nintendo's history.
What did I give Popeye? I give Popeye a 3. I will give
Yes,
Mickey Mouse a 3 because they look like they're the same game.
they are. Turtle Bridge. Turtle Bridge sucks.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
wait until the ground is in front of you and hit left or right.
yeah, I'll give it a 1.
Fire Attack, not to be confused with Fire.
Who made all these Game & Watches? Was this all Yokoi or
Yokoi worked on like the technology. I don't know if he was the game designer in every single one. Probably not. Probably like a team of 5 people if I had to guess.
I'm gonna give Fire Attack a 3.
Okay, Snoopy Tennis.
You got into sports games. That's gonna. Oh no, this looks bad.
Oh, there's 2 of these.
I'll give Snoopy Tennis a 3.
Oil Panic.
And this one, oh, it's a multi-screen. That's fun.
Yeah, we're starting with the multi-screens now.
I'm trying to. Okay, it's this one.
Yep.
I'll give it a 4.
Donkey Kong.
I just want to make sure I have the right memory of what the Donkey Kong.
Not to be confused
Game
with
and
Donkey
Watches.
Kong Jr. or Donkey Kong 2, which is wholly
God.
original.
I'm going to give Donkey Kong, a 3.
Okay. Donkey Kong
And
Jr. for Game & Watch.
Okay, we're not at Donkey Kong 2 yet. So Donkey
Yes.
Kong Jr. I'm also gonna give that a 3.
Mickey and Donald.
I do like how this compelling stream of just you saying things at me and then me googling them.
We'll get to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
there will be-
memorable shit.
I don't need to Google things.
But we gotta start here.
Yeah. Once again, I'm impressed by the visuals of this, and the ones that I'm impressed by the visuals, but then look more at what the game is. I will continue with my benchmark for that, which is a 3.
Okay. Greenhouse, not to be confused with Vermin.
Let's go 3.
Donkey Kong 2.
Let's go 4 for that one.
Yes, GX points out that we are not in the Game & Watch bullshit era yet. This is good Game & Watch. Mario Brothers, not to be confused with Super Mario Brothers. Which
Okay,
could
so
come up.
my baseline is for Mario Brothers is the highest any Mario Brothers game can possibly get is a 4.
Yes.
Oh no, googling Mario Brothers Game & Watch is not helping me.
Yes, because that's going to give you the new one that came out last year.
Just to confirm, the Mario Brothers here, this is the one that's based on the arcade game, correct?
Yes.
Okay, 2.
Mario's Cement Factory.
Now this one is, I think this might be one that I have seen in the wild.
At like a PAX?
Yeah, or I think it was there's a convention near Philly that I used to go to until. Why didn't I go the one time? I think it was because they had Boogie went, and then I was like, yeah, maybe I don't need to go to this convention anymore, because I'm that's where I'm at right now, where I'm like, oh, they're gonna support that asshole, I'm out.
Gotcha. Mario Cement Factory.
I'm gonna give that one a 4.
Okay. Rain Shower.
What the hell is that?
Suda51 presents.
Oh well, look at this one. It's like you open it up like a book.
Yeah.
It's like that Ninja Gaiden DS game. Why don't you? This doesn't look great though, but the art looks nice. So with using that as my baseline of I think this game doesn't look fun, but it looks nice. 3.
Lifeboat. Don't worry, only 3 more for this whole time period.
3. That satisfies the. I don't
Yep.
think this looks fun, but it looks cool.
Mario's Bombs Away.
I think this is another one that I have seen sometime in my life. Oh, I forgot how disconcerting this one looks too.
Yes, it does.
Holy crap. Um, I'm gonna give it a 2, kind of because I feel like it never should have been made.
I could say that about a lot of shit, but yes. And then Pinball, based on the concept, not the NES game.
Okay. I'll give that one a 4.
Okay. That puts us at exactly a 3.5, which is lower than any James year ever, so we're already having fun.
I do think there's a slight difference of James contextualizing it.
Oh, absolutely.
For what it was in the era, because I think if I did that, my Game & Watch games would have been more averaging 5 as opposed to like 3.
Yes, Chef did sell over 1 million units. Game & Watch was big, dude.
Yeah.
All right,
It's a different era.
Yes, 1984. Just because this is arcade and the height of Game & Watch, that was 42 games. It's going to be a while before we get to 42 games or 41 games in a year again. So for this one, we only have 7 for 1984.
Okay. I love the Punch-Out arcade game.
Yes.
But it's still, if this was a game that I would have found in the 90s, by going with that, I'm gonna actually say 7, because I really like that game. I think
it's
having
really hard.
Yeah, when I play it on my Switch now, it's not something that I'm gonna sit down and play for hours. But that was a game that if I saw that in an arcade, I would just be like, I need to just throw a bunch of, like, a whole roll of quarters at it and just go. Because I think it's also like the setup of that machine as well. Thinking of it not just the gameplay experience, but also how that cabinet is. That is one of my bucket lists. If I can get that arcade cabinet, I would.
Yeah. All right, back to Game & Watch hell.
Oh, joy. Spitball Sparky.
Spitball Sparky. Don't worry, we got 3 Donkey Kong games in 1 year.
Okay. I think I've seen this one. I will give this one a 4.
Okay. Crab Grab.
It's just one where the name is familiar, but it doesn't. I'll give that one a 3.
Boxing. One guess what this is based off of. It's not terrible.
Yeah, I'll give that one a... Is that a 2-player one? Yeah, it is.
Like, genuinely, like, some of, like, the mid to late era Game & Watch is of the first wave, not the ones that are coasting off nostalgia. Like, they genuinely, like, get really creative with how they adapt things.
I think I'm gonna go 5 with this one.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it would be 4 if it wasn't multiplayer.
Donkey Kong 3.
Now let's see what that one looks like. Oh, that's another versus one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go 4 for that one.
Donkey Kong Circus. Speaking of things that don't need to exist.
Oh, yeah, that's the panorama screen. 3.
And then finally for the year, Donkey Kong Hockey.
Let's get the sports bias in effect. This is one that is it's one of the ones that I occasionally look for just because of like I love that old versus system look. Yeah. I'll give this one the same as boxing, a 5.
Okay. We're at a 4.42 for the year. Next year,
moving on up.
Launch of the NES. Get ready for a very low year because we've got a lot of black box games.
Yeah. Super Punch-Out, I will give the same as 7.
7. And then arm wrestling, same universe.
Oh shit. I've played arm wrestling before, but never in an arcade. I just want to make sure.
Test of strength. Yes.
Yeah. I will give arm wrestling a 5.
Okay. NES Baseball.
I will give that one a 5.
NES Tennis.
I will give that one a 2.
NES Pinball.
A 3.
Wow, you're giving pinball above tennis.
I think the tennis game is trash.
I think the pinball game is trash.
Isn't tennis the one that there's no multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I stand by the 2 and pinball being ahead of it.
Pinball is fucking bad. Wild Gunman.
Yeah, pinball is bad, but tennis is. I don't like. It's the fact that like it's functional as a single player game that tennis game is why I'm not gonna go one. Um, Wild Gunman. It's hard
Is
for me to like.
problematic.
Yeah. I guess I'll give that one a 3.
Duck Hunt, on the other hand.
Duck Hunt I will give a 6.
Duck Hunt is what Wild Gunman could strive to be.
Yes.
NES Golf, the original.
I'm gonna give that one a 6.
Okay. Hogan's Alley.
I'll give that one a 4.
Clue Land.
5.
Excite Bike. But specifically, the NES release, not the Famicom Disk System release, so it doesn't have saves.
Yeah. So you can see there's still the course creator in that one, correct?
Yes, but you couldn't save anything.
Yeah. It's so this is one of those ones where, because I did play a lot of Excite Bike in the 90s, but it was one of those things that like my brother would also be like, oh, let's play Excite Bike, and I'd be like, all right, okay, like, and mess with the course creator, be like, but I can't do anything with this. What the hell's the point? It's a game that I hold a nostalgic value for, but I think is kind of terrible, so I will give it a 3.
Sherritt Goblin. Hogan's Alley is in fact the cop one. Ice Climber.
So I'm going to give Ice Climber. I'm gonna give it a. Actually, so now as I go deeper into the list, put Pinball at a 2.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna put Ice Climber at a 3, but with the caveat of I think it's a really cool idea, just that the jumping sucks.
Neal Ronaghan, big fan of clubbing seals for points.
I think it's a lot of the stuff of like thinking about Super Mario Brothers being left to right and then Ice Climber being the vertical platformer, like that. Like I it's the kind of thing that like I kind of would love to see like someone revisiting that, or like Nintendo revisiting that concept with the Ice Climbers. But it's just that the jumping is Mario Brothers arcade bad, and it's a game that like the jumping needs to be good or else it's bad.
Yes. NES Soccer.
Is that another one that's only single player?
I don't know.
I'm gonna double check. Let's see, Soccer NES. Okay, it looks like it's multiplayer. I still don't know if it's a really good soccer game or not. I'm going to give it a 3.
Okay. Wrecking Crew.
I will give Wrecking Crew a 4.
Kung Fu.
Oh god, Kung Fu. I'm gonna give that one a 2. I don't think Kung Fu is very good.
Sucks. Stack Up.
Let's just refresh my memory.
Rob.
Stack Up game. Oh yeah, that's barely a video game.
It sure is.
You know what? Screw it. Let's bottom out. Let's give it a 1.
Gyromite.
I'll give Gyromite a 3.
Super Mario Brothers.
There's a part. So I think if I were doing this in the context of picturing me in 1985, this is a 10 out of 10. But going through me playing this in the 90s, it is a 9 out of 10.
Okay. 10-Yard Fight.
Is not a great football game. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Back to Game & Watch Hell.
Oh,
Blackjack.
Joy. All right, let's see what Blackjack Game & Watch is. Okay, it's just a game of blackjack. I'll give that a 4.
Tropical Fish.
So, yeah, Tropical
My
Fish.
fiance just walked in on that and gave me a look. Like, what the fuck is the game Tropical Fish?
I'm asking the same question, to be fair. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. 1986. Donkey Kong NES.
Donkey Kong NES. What did I give the? I think I gave it an 8.
You gave the arcade one an 8.
All right, then I will give the NES version a 6.
NES Donkey Kong Jr.
I'm gonna give that a 5.
NES Popeye.
I will give that a 3.
NES Mario Brothers. Caps at a 4.
I'll give that a 2.
Donkey Kong Jr. Math.
I will give that a 2.
NES Donkey Kong 3.
A 4.
Holy shit. We're just plowing through these. Urban Champion. 2D Urban Champion.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, like, the 3D Classics Urban Champion is
The
like,
funniest.
I'm not gonna say it's a good game, but it is a game that I do not regret like spending $5 or $6 on and messing around with. That being said, the NES version is hot trash. I will give that a 2.
Balloon Fight.
This
Bad
is
Joust with Balloon Trip.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be above a 5. It's the kind of thing where I don't think that the joust part of this is that good, but
Yes.
Balloon Trip is such an incredible high score game.
Yep.
That,
You're not
like,
wrong.
On 3DS, like I think I could check my playtime meter on my 3DS, and I might have like 5 hours in Balloon Fight, mostly from playing Balloon Trip in idle time.
Good.
I think I will give Balloon Fight a 7.
GX, the Tingle version, was never released by Nintendo America, so it is not on this list.
I would love that. I periodically I look to see if I can import any of the Tingle games on DS, and it makes me sad because they are extremely expensive now.
Of course, they were not cheap at the time, but now they're very not cheap. Squish for the Game & Watch.
I do like that Googling this does not actually show you the game, it just shows you the artwork outside of the game.
Yes.
Which
GX, the Tingle version, is probably better, just because it's, refined physics.
I will give Squish a 3.
Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers. This is going to be the hardest Google search.
Yeah.
Expert level Google.
Oh, crap.
1986, if you want to help.
Yeah. Game & Watch. Yes, that should actually do it. It's fascinating looking to see how they tried to adapt these games.
Oh, yeah.
But this looks bad.
It is not a good way.
So I'm going to give this a 2.
Okay. Climber.
I like learning things about Nintendo. Which, this also looks bad. I'm going to give it a 2.
Balloon Fight for the Game & Watch, which released the same year as Balloon Fight.
That Iwata, so productive with his program. So what did I give the other? I'll give this one a 3.
Okay. 1987, R-Type for the arcade.
Oh my god, I forgot that they did this. Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd have to think about R-Type Arcade.
1987's a good year if you want to take a look at that list. It's a good year.
That's a pretty good arcade game, man.
Yeah, it is.
God, I actually had to go double check because like there's a part of me where I'm like, no, Nintendo didn't put that out.
They sure did.
Enough, they did. Oh wow, I forgot there was the Game Boy Color R-Type DX too.
Yes, we'll get there.
Wow. I'll give that. I'm not even that big of an R-Type fan, but it's just that arcade game looks incredible.
It's real cool.
Yeah. I will give that a 6.
Okay. Kid Icarus. That is the correct response.
Like, it's not terrible.
There's a credit card. Good. You have to learn the hard way that it wraps around indefinitely left to right and right to left.
Yup.
Speaking of vertical platformers.
And, like, it's the kind of thing where I do think that the Kid Icarus soundtrack is pretty good, but the way it's implemented in the game is bad because, like, you just hear that forever, and then like later in the game, it's like listen to these better tunes. I'll give it a 3.
NES Volleyball.
Just gonna do the quick reminder to see, because chances are, if it is a sports game on the NES, it came across me at some point. Oh, this isn't a good one. I'm gonna give this one a 2.
Pro Wrestling.
I will give that a 5.
Metroid.
Oh no. This is like, I mean, it's in the same ballpark of Kid Icarus. The music is better. The game is better. It's still kind of broken. I have a hard time going south of 5 with it, but I don't think I can justify going higher.
5 it is.
Because, yeah, Metroid is a game on NES that I think I have booted up on maybe NES Classic or Nintendo Switch Online and been like, oh, remember when the game was like this? And then I will turn it off and play Super Metroid or Metroid Zero Mission, which are incredible games. But that original game, fantastic ideas, shitty game.
The Legend of Zelda.
Ow.
Reminder that 1987 was a hell of a year.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, and I'm looking at the one after this.
Yes, yeah.
I think I'm just gonna handle the Legend of Zelda and Mike Tyson's Punch Out at the same time.
Sure.
Because I will say, I recognize that there are a lot of issues with the stereotypes in Punch Out.
Yep.
However, that is one of my favorite games of all time, I think. I love the fact that it's, just a beautiful sports rhythm game. So I'm going to give Punch Out a 9 and Zelda an 8.
Okay. Slalom for the NES. As seen in Rare Replay.
Oh, okay, it's that game. That is it's like a neat game, but it's not a good one.
It's one of the last black boxes.
What?
It's one of the last black box games.
Yeah, I'll give that a 3.
Okay. Rad Racer.
I mean, it does have Rad in the title.
So you can't go below a 2.
I'm gonna go 2.
Okay. And then Bomb Sweeper for the Game & Watch.
Game & Watch.
Which GX has some thoughts on.
Like good thoughts or bad thoughts? I'm willing to be bought.
GX, do you want to give the pitch for Bomb Sweeper? Let me tell you, James did a lot of intensive Googling on some of these. And, some of them are fucking weird. Okay, it's just hilarious looking.
It's just hilarious looking. I realized I realized I had the Twitch open and had not looked at the chat in a while.
Gotcha.
It does look hilarious. I actually have to agree with that.
The character name. Look at the name for the character.
All right, so Bomb Sweeper, Dynamite Jack, a masked you play the role of John Solver. Oh my god.
Yes, put John Solver in Smash, you cowards. So that has to bump the score up by 1, right?
I'm gonna give Bomb Sweeper a 4 because I think it has a lot of heart.
And what are you gonna give John Solver?
John Solver, I'd give it 10 out of 10. Like, just amazing. Looking at his doubting looks in this on the fandom page for him.
Amazing.
He just looks very concerned. Once you get his first and last appearance,
yes,
seems to just. I love how he's on the Nintendo fandom wiki. He's listed under the category of classic Nintendo characters.
Hell yeah. Look, Ice Climber was only in 1 game, and they got a revival.
Oh my god! And he's there with Oram Repus, who is the villain from the Game & Watch version of Balloon Fight.
Yes, that I knew. Yes, I knew that one for sure.
Wait. Go back to the Game & Watch version of Balloon Fight. What did I give that? Because I might have to bump it up a point.
You gave it a 3. It's Super Mario backwards.
So we're giving it a 4.
Okay.
Just on the strength of Oram Repus, whatever the hell that is.
Again, it's Super Mario backwards.
Oh my god, it is. See what other classic characters are here? Okay, like Sheriff Stanley. Oh,
Oh,
the Prince of Sable or whatever from
yes. They had a
what
very weird.
For the Frog the Bell Tolls,
Yes,
which is a game that I've always there's a fan translation for that, I think.
probably.
I don't know if it's ever worth playing, but always curious.
1988's ice hockey.
Oh, that's I think it's the two-player element of that. If I were to judge that as a single-player game, it would not be very high, but it is like kinetic fun with friends. I will give it a 7.
Excellent. Super Mario Brothers USA/2.
I will give that a 9.
Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link.
If I can get a promise for a future remake, then this would be a
Nope.
lot higher because I think that Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link is a game filled with good ideas that is executed terribly. It is similar to Metroid in that respect, and it's just that they never made another Zelda 2.
I mean, yes, they did. It's called The Wand of Gamelon and the Faces of Evil.
uh,
They've gone in that direction again. They being not Nintendo.
I will use the metric that I used for Metroid, but I do think that Zelda 2 is a better game than the original Metroid. I'll go with a 6. I know that there are people out there that enjoy it more than me.
There's also people that enjoy it less than you.
Yeah, there are a lot of people. Like, I mean, I was a person who used to hate Zelda 2. And then I played it with a guide.
Yep, that's usually how that
And then I was
goes.
like, okay, like I see the good stuff here. It's just like they did not make a friendly game,
Yes. RC Pro-Am.
which is super fun. I'll give that one a 6.
World-class track meet.
All right, double checking what world class track meet is. Wait, is this the?
Yes. This is the power
Yeah.
pad.
So I actually I don't because I think Bandai or whoever put out the arcade version of this. I actually played the arcade version of this while very drunk a couple years ago. Because my wife did roller derby, but then stopped doing roller derby. But we still hung out with everybody from her old team because
Excellent.
it was basically more like she was we lived in a spot where to get to any roller rink where roller derby practices would take place was like an hour, so it just became like a time commitment that wouldn't work. But we still
Right.
like we had one of our really good friends was on the team still, and there was an arcade by like the after party, and then me and another dude wound up playing like it had like competitive arcade track meet games, and by the end of it, like we were very good at it, but we were very very drunk. With that in mind, track meet is not that great of a game outside of the gimmick. I will give it a 3.
Anticipation.
Ah, shit. I love Anticipation. This is. It's like the worst Pictionary game of all time, but it's also maybe the best Pictionary video game of all time.
I don't know. There
This
was
is.
that U-Draw one that put a whole company out of business. It's hard to top that.
um, I I will probably go way too high on Anticipation, but I will also say that it's near and dear to my heart because as we get through, probably even deeper through any of these NES games, although I guess there's not that much more, we might have gotten through the bulk of the ones that would have been affected by my origin story of getting an NES, which was my older cousin who's got a little less than a decade on me. He had an NES growing up. I didn't own one. I was born this year, 1988. So like I didn't have an NES, but when we visited him, that would be my gateway into playing it. There were certain games that he had, like he had Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Hmm.
I'm trying to think what else he had. He had Blaster Master. I think that was another game that I experienced when I was like younger. So I think that the original Blaster Master is also a janky game, but I played it a lot as a kid.
Hmm.
And he had Anticipation, and he really liked game show games. So we would play that and like the crappy Jeopardy games a lot. So I'll give Anticipation a 6 because I think it's a very good time in multiplayer.
Okay. Super team games.
I do not know what this is. To Google.
Take one guess.
It is probably a Bad Olympics game. Developed by Human. Oh, it's another Power Pad game.
Yes.
All right, what did I give Track Meet? I'm going to
3.
give this one a 2.
Back to Game & Watch. Fuckers. Safe Buster.
Safe Buster. All right. Safe Buster, Game & Watch.
Even after Zelda 2, we're still releasing new Game & Watches.
It's not like did these do well?
I have to assume they've at least made a
Like
profit.
yeah, and like the crazier thing is that like these came out. It's not like they just came out in Japan. Like that's the weirder thing to me.
Yeah, this is U.S. Because here's like,
This one was never released in Japan.
yeah. Here's the thing. Like, number one is this shows very, very clearly Nintendo has always, since their inception or entrance into the game industry, has always placed an importance on handheld games. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, we must release at least some handheld things for people who are not at the TV. But then two, it's like, look forward to the Game Boy coming out and the Game & Watch also coming out. Because that will happen.
I'm gonna go with a 3 for this one.
And then Gold Cliff.
All right, let's see what the hell Gold Cliff is. Okay, so you control an archaeologist. And this is the last one that was released before Game Boy, so it must be great, right? Right? Yeah, I'll be honest, it does not look great. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Wow, we finally hit a 5. Exactly a 5. And we finally have the most average of Nintendo years. Every year before this has been under a 5. Alright. NES. To the Earth.
Oh my god. That's another one I didn't know.
That Nintendo put out?
Yeah. Okay, it's this game. I'm trying to I don't think I've ever played this before. I'll just give it a 5.
Okay. NES Tetris. Same year as Game Boy Tetris, but we're not there yet.
I'm trying to remember because this is Intention Tetris, which that's actually the NES Tetris that I owned.
This is this is not Tengen Tetris. This is the Tetris that is played still at classic Tetris tournaments.
Okay.
So if you tune in, this is that one.
I will give this I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Short Order / Eggsplode.
Okay, this is this another okay, this is your Power Pad games. I like the idea of this game. I'll give it. It's another one. I've never played this one before. I like the idea of it being a Power Pad game that's not like the cheesy like run real fast, and it's more of a puzzle game. But almost by definition, all Power Pad games are kind of flawed. I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Dance Aerobics. Speaking of Power Pad.
This is a game that I've actually played before because when I met my wife in college, she had a Power Pad in this game for some reason.
Hell yeah. That's how
that's how we fell in love.
Yeah, that's basically why you proposed right there.
Yeah. I'll give Dance Aerobics a 5.
Okay. Cobra Triangle.
That's another rare one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's actually this game. Yeah, because it's another rare replay one. I don't love the angle, but it's like the angle that I just expect like every British game from this era to have this weird isometric angle.
You're
like,
not wrong. Rare has a lot
funny
of
thing
those.
of playing all those old Rare games, and you're like, oh, they really like this look. And then like there's even like you see games that are clearly inspired by like British games of the 80s, and they all have that isometric look.
And half of them are fucking terrible because of it.
Yeah, like I don't think Cobra Triangle is a game that when I played it on Rare Replay I expected to like more than I did, but I definitely don't think it's bad. I'll go with a 5 for that.
Okay. Faxanadu.
Is it so I think I called it I think I called it when I was younger. I think I called it Faxanadu because I didn't know any better. Yeah, because it's supposed to be Famicom Xanadu.
Yes.
So should it be Fazanadu or is it?
I've always heard it Faxanadu, so I don't know.
It's a pretty cool game. I don't think it's an amazing game. I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Dragon Warrior.
Actually, no, I bump Faxanadu to a 7.
Okay.
Because I was more thinking of more modern day Neal and not 90s Neal, who would have liked that game more.
Okay.
So Dragon Warrior, this is why because there's no way in like when I play I played through like a couple hours of this game on Switch like the other year. So I was about to be like, I wouldn't play the original Dragon Warrior, but I kind of did. I'll give this game an 8. Like I do, it's a very old, dated RPG, but it's like really pleasant.
Mm-hmm. All right, Game & Watch Zelda.
Will this be the highest Game & Watch?
Yes, James asked the same thing, and this one is legitimately like they really tried and focused on this one.
Yeah. This is also one that I periodically am like, oh, this is just way too expensive. I'm never touching this. I'll give this one. I will give this one a 7.
That is in fact the highest Game & Watch. Yep. All right, Game Boy time. Alleyway.
All right.
Fuck Alleyway.
I'll give it a 3.
Baseball, Game Boy.
That's one that's near and dear to my heart a little bit. It's a Game Boy game that I had around when I got my Game Boy. But it's I think it does it have the multiplayer in it? But like if you had a link cable, I think it might. But either way, I wasn't doing that when I played this in the early 90s. So I will give this one a 4 because it's still a pretty good baseball game of its era. There were certain sports games that Nintendo always had a good feel for. Baseball and golf were 2 of them.
Super Mario Land.
If it was longer than like 45 minutes, I'd go higher. Because it's like totally fine. It's just that like you blink and it's over.
Yep.
I'm trying my best to try to use more of the spectrum of everything. Because I think if I were to go NWR review style with Super Mario Land, I'd probably go higher than a 6, but I'm gonna go with a 6 here.
Okay. Tennis, Game Boy.
Hold on, just confirming that I hate this fucking tennis game. Give me a screenshot, not the... Oh yeah, fuck that game. I'll give it a 2.
Okay. Tetris, Game Boy.
I think I gotta go 10.
It's the Tetris.
It's the Tetris. It's the one that... So my brother's like 7 years older than me, so there's like the era in the 90s where he was more a teenager and I was still like a snot-nosed kid. But we got to a point where we just left a Game Boy with Tetris in the bathroom that we had, just so we could like beat each other for high scores.
Great. This is your first 10.
What?
This is your first 10.
Yeah. You know what? I think that game is worth it. That is a game that I still have a cartridge for, and I will probably there's a good chance that will be the most played non-RPG game on my analog pocket.
I'm also very much looking forward to the Analog Pocket. May. I can't wait for those things to finally ship out.
Yeah, I totally missed that they delayed it because I was like, oh, it's 2021. I'm gonna be, and then someone was like, no, you're not getting it anytime soon. I'm like, what? Oh,
Yeah. All right, 1990, Super Mario Brothers 3.
there's that part of me that doesn't want to just give another 10, but it's Super Mario fucking Brothers 3.
You can give it a 10.
So I'm giving it a 10.
Dr. Mario.
I will give Dr. Mario. Is this the yeah? So this is gonna be a little nostalgia based, and we might get more into this.
There's gonna be a lot of Dr. Marios.
Yeah, but this specific version, I'm trying to think if it was this or 64 was the version that I played on. Getting a little bit, I guess, story time. My first weekend at college, I was wearing a Super Mario Brothers NES shirt, like it had like the cover art from that, and I rounded a corner and then met the person who would become my wife. And the reason why is because her roommate brought a TV that did not have. I think it was a TV that didn't have AV connections. It was like a really old art TV that only had like the RF switch. And then she asked me if I had a TV that had those connections. And then we started playing video games all night. But she had a boyfriend, so that didn't go anywhere right away. But obviously, by the fact that we've been married for almost a decade and have a kid and another one on the way, it worked out. But we played the original Dr. Mario on NES during that time. So even though I can hear all of the talk about Dr. Mario being a really, like, maybe bad puzzle game, it's one that holds a special place in my heart. So I will give the NES version of Dr. Mario a 6.
Okay. Barker Bale's Trick Shooting.
I have no idea what the fuck this game is.
Hard pivot from emotional story.
Like, here's like, it's so meaningful and great, and I'm like, I've never heard of this video game in my life. Earn D1 game? What the hell? All right, so we got 4 carnival type games. The Zapper game. There's like this whole run of Zapper games that I feel like I just missed.
Yep.
Hip Tanaka did the music. Holy shit. There's Balloon Saloon, Flying Saucers, Window Panes, but it's not. It's like it hurts. It's not like it's actual panes of window. Fun Follies, Trixie's Shot, Bill's Thrills. I will give this one a 5 because I don't know enough about it to condemn it.
Okay. I know what you're looking up when this is over. Punch Out with Mr. Dream.
What did I give I gave the original one a 9.
You gave Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
It should be 87.
87. You give it a 9.
Okay, I will give Mr. I think that game loses something by not having Mike Tyson. I'll give it an 8.
Okay. NES Play Action Football.
That's a game that outkicked its coverage. It's not 10-yard fight bad, but it's not very good. But it tried, and I'm happy that it tried.
It's no Tecmo Bowl.
But yeah, it's not Tecmo Bowl. It's not even early Madden. I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Star Tropics.
Ooh.
That is a fucking racist-ass game if I've ever seen one.
It's really, like... I think 90s Neal would have been like, this game's incredible. I love it. I think I've beaten it several times. Not in a very long time. I think I beat it when maybe it was like Wii Virtual Console would have been the last time that I beat it. I really like that game, but that is a game akin to like Crash Bandicoot, where like I grew up being like, well, this isn't that bad, and then like my eyes got wide, and I was like, oh no,
yeah,
why? The Coca-Cola or whatever, why?
Yeah, this game's fucking racist.
So I still really like Star Tropics, and the music's really good, and I think it's really cool, but because of the racism, I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Super Spike V-Ball.
Pretty good volleyball game. Just gonna confirm.
I always get tripped up on this because, especially just based on the naming convention, I always associate with the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. So this one, I think I had a copy of this game that was with the soccer game, which is Nintendo World Cup, which is later this year.
Yes.
It didn't always work because it was like if I have a memory of it, like I probably have the cartridge somewhere in my house. But like the label was scratched up, so it was probably a game that had been through some shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't always work. But when I did get it to work, it was generally pretty fun. I'll give it I'll go 6 with it.
Okay. Pinbot.
All right, Pinbot.
Oh no, you have to Google this too. You're gonna go on the same journey James did.
Oh no. So it's a rare pinball. This visually, it looks ridiculous.
It's based on a real table.
Oh.
You ever hear of Bride of Pinbot? This is the original Pinbot.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's fucking wild. And oh, it's got David Wise. Don't check his tweets. Whatever you do with David Wise, just don't look at his tweets. You're not ready. Also, don't look at the composer of Symphony of the Night. Just pretend she went to another dimension.
Just like Jet Set Radio's composer.
Yes. Kill your darlings, everybody. I think it's really cool that they tried to replicate a pinball machine on the NES in 1990. That's kind of commendable.
I'm glad that how terrible the original pinball was, they didn't just give up and decide it couldn't be done.
Yeah, I'll give this one a 5.
Okay.
Because once again, I have my doubts that it probably doesn't really feel that great, but at the same time, it's really impressive what they did.
Final Fantasy.
I forgot that this was Nintendo published.
I appreciate that they put out Dragon Warrior, tried to make it stick. It didn't really stick. Like, they got it out to people, but like it clearly didn't take long term. So they were like, what about the Dragon Quest Killer? Will that work?
So, I will say, and I don't know if this is hot takey or not. I would say the original Dragon Warrior, or at least the NES version of both of these games, I would rather play the original Dragon Warrior.
That is not a hot take.
Okay. Just, I don't know. I do think, once again, a game that I will play on my analog pocket is Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls. That is what got me to like Final Fantasy 1, is I got that game on Game Boy Advance and was like, I don't know, like, I don't really like this on NES that much. And I played that, I'm like, oh, they made it good.
Final Fantasy 1 is on NES is an imperfect execution of a decent game. Final Fantasy 2 is hot trash. Final Fantasy 3 is on Famicom is like the first one where people are like, yeah, okay. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Without nostalgia.
I would love to see Final Fantasy 3 get like the Trials of Mana treatment. I mean, they already did the remake.
Yeah, they're not good.
But,
I doubt they're good. Especially because it already has a remake release on Steam.
Yeah.
Like, and phones.
There is that part of me that like I would love to see like the original Famicom version of Final Fantasy 3 be playable in English. I mean, once again, there's probably a fan translation out there.
Oh, so you really liked what they did with Fire Emblem?
I mean,
you and no one else.
But that Fire Emblem game isn't that good.
That Fire Emblem game was good at the time.
Yeah. No. Yeah. If we were doing this list and that Fire Emblem game was on it, it would probably be like minimum 6.
At the time, it was real good. The problem is you can't undo the poisoning of having played later refined Fire Emblem games.
So, I'll give the original Final Fantasy. I will give it a 7 still because it's still a good game. It's
Yes.
just that I think that Dragon Warrior is better, and I think that Final Fantasy One is maybe comparable to NES Play Action Football. The only time any human will ever make a comparison between NES Play Action Football and Final Fantasy, I would think, because I think they are games that had good ideas that just like asked for too much.
Um, I appreciate that, for example, a lot of the characters like Garland show up in later things, like especially
Yeah,
FF14. Um, they,
I don't have enough time in the day, but I should play FF14.
as someone who'd picked the start of the pandemic as the time to get into FF14, I would like to tell you something as a warning. So they announced a new expansion tonight, 30 minutes before the stream started. And it's the fourth expansion. Each of these expansions is a 100-hour long RPG.
Jesus Christ.
There are 4 of them now, after the base game.
Which as far as I think you might have been the person that I talked to about this.
They
that
fixed.
The base game, you can basically just skip.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you can skip it, and in fact, so many people were doing it that they recently retooled the entire base game to, like, go a lot faster. Like, I think they cut it from, like, 70 to, like, 40 hours. And didn't cut a single cutscene out. They just cut all the MMO bullshit out. But, yes, no, as the original Final Fantasy, and this is going to be a hot take if there are Final Fantasy 14 fans, I don't care if you disagree with me. Final Fantasy 14 2.0, the base game, A Realm Reborn, is like kind of generic Final Fantasy. The story also doesn't actually, like, you don't meet the main cast of characters for like the first 8 hours.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Because you move into this world, and then it's just like everyone is like, let's get you signed up with the guild. Let's teach you how to do MMO things. And then eventually it's like, okay, the story can start now, I guess.
I forget what game was a good. Talking about on this week's episode of Connectivity, where Seren, you would probably enjoy my diatribe on what I am now determining is the Atlas line, which is the balance between how much do I like the gameplay versus how gross are other things about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like Etrian Odyssey has a very it goes above the Atlas line because I love the gameplay of Etrian Odyssey. The artwork is disgusting in a lot of places in that game, but it outpaces it. It's first person game. I don't need to interact with the artwork as much. Whereas there are other games that like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is my good example of a game that is on the wrong side of the Atlas line.
Persona 5 Strikers is all well and good until you get to the rampant anti-Semitism out of nowhere.
yeah. Once again, like I've not actually played Persona 5 Strikers. Stay tuned to our coverage from Matt Zawadiak. He's a preview up in Nintendo World Report, but I don't know. I don't really ever plan to play Persona 5 Strikers because from what I've heard, it's the Atlas line is going to be unfavorable for me on that one. And the Atlas line is a very personal thing. And for me, it's I think that a lot of Atlas's games in the future are going to be on the wrong side of the Atlas line for me.
Fingers crossed they can change that, but who knows?
Shin Megami Tensei 5 is kind of a last straw for me.
Yeah.
Unless they're like, we're doing Etrian Odyssey again.
You're not alone on that one. I will, but anyways, real quick, the FF14 main story is like kind of whatever. But then it immediately gets started with the first expansion game, which is called Heaven's Word, which is immediately like, all right, we're taking you to a new area. Also, this is about a populist revolution against a corrupt monarchy, which is being ruled in the shadows by a corrupt theocracy, and we're gonna get really into the mechanics of religion. And then the next game is like, all right, here's a 70-hour hardcore military drama that is globetrotting. And that's the one I'm on right now. And then the next one, and this is what FF14 fans say, is that the first 2 expansions make the game very, very good, And then the third expansion, Shadowbringers, which I haven't even started yet, makes it by far the best Final Fantasy game of all time.
I've heard some of the similar talk about that. Shadowbringers
Yeah.
brought it to another level.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to getting there.
I think as far as I am in the position, and not that I mean the first kid
Yeah.
when I had paternity leave, like that was actually a good time. Like I played a shit ton of games because infants turn out like you got to do a lot, but there's a lot of downtime.
Yes.
When I'm out on paternity leave for my second child,
You're still gonna have the first kid.
I'm gonna have a 3-year-old and an infant, so
Yes.
probably not gonna have the time to be like, this is gonna be my paternity time game.
Yes. And here's
But
the
if that
catch.
is, it's gonna be more Trails of Cold Steel.
Yes.
That's kind of my slow burn game. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yes, the catch of FF14 is that you can skip to any of the expansions. Well, if you pay money, that is. But you don't want to skip the expansions.
Because it seems like that's where the bulk of the fun is.
Yes, you kind of want to jump straight to the second expansion or the first expansion, the second story. Anyways, Snake Rattle and Roll Hard Pivot.
So I played this game on Rare Replay.
Yes.
And I while we were talking about Final Fantasy, I brought up its Wikipedia page just to refresh my memory. And I see there's a quote there. It's on IGN list of top 100 NES games. Someone said Marble Madness turned into a platformer,
Yep.
which I understand where a person would say that.
But
I
if
think
that implies a level of quality that's not there.
Yeah, like Marble Madness is, I mean, the arcade game is a lot better than the NES game from my memories.
Yes, it is.
But I really, really like Marble Madness, and I did not really like Snake Rattle and Roll. It does look pretty cool, but I'll give that one a 4.
Okay. Nintendo World Cup.
Refreshing my memory on if this. Oh, is this? Yeah, this is. I forgot this is just a Kunio-kun game.
Yep.
This is a pretty good soccer game. Might be the highest soccer game I give this. I will give it a 5.
Okay. Game Boy Golf.
I'm trying to think. Did I play this one as much? I'll give it a 5 because it's in the 3-click Nintendo Golf era.
Yep.
And like all of those are baseline quality.
Solar Striker.
Is that that's like the weird shooter one, right? Or is that the... Yeah, okay, yeah, that's... I'll give this one a 4.
Kicks.
Kicks, I'll give it a 6. I actually played a ton of that on 3DS Virtual Console. I really liked Kicks.
Dr. Mario.
The Game Boy Dr. Mario might be the one that I've played the most of. I'll give that one a... I'll go with a 6 for Game Boy Dr. Mario.
Balloon Kid.
It's a cooler idea than it is a game. There is no balloon trip mode in Balloon Kid, right? It's just like the weird like we tried to make a platform out of this and it's not as good.
Yes.
I'll give that one I'll give it a 4.
Play Action Football. Game Boy.
This is one that I definitely played. I'm just refreshing my memory what it looks like.
I appreciate that the games are called NES Play Action Football and then just Play Action Football instead of Game Boy.
There's a bad football game. I'll give it a 2.
Okay. 91. NES Open Tournament Golf.
What did I give NES Golf?
You gave NES Golf a 6.
I will give NES Open Tournament Golf a 7.
Okay. F-Zero.
Oh, we're getting into Super Nintendo. There's part of me that first F-Zero is near and dear to my heart, but it's I don't know, like I'll give it a 5.
Super Mario
10.
World. Yep.
That is my favorite 2D Mario by far.
Pilot Wings.
Yeah. I feel similar that I do F-Zero with that game in that I like a lot about F-Zero. Like the music's incredible. Look, like the Mode 7 stuff is really, really fun. It's just a game that like I will do a race or two and be like, that was cute, and then not play it anymore.
Yep.
Pilot Wings is a game that I think I interact with a little bit more than F-Zero whenever I sit down to play it. I'll give that one a 6.
SimCity.
The Super because it's like one of those things of like it's like when they brought Civ games to consoles where like, okay, this isn't the best way to play this game, but they tried. Like Civ Rev is fun. I'll give that a 7.
Super Tennis.
This is, I believe this is on. Yeah, this is the one that this isn't that great either. From what I remember, I'll give that a 3.
Okay, this next one is James's first one. Mario the Juggler.
Mario the Juggler Game & Watch.
It's Ball resold at full price again, but this time it has a Mario skin. Over a decade later.
So I'm not going to give it a 1 because I as previously stated, I do like Ball. But
yeah, I think he gave Ball like a 2 or 3 in the first place.
Yeah, I'll give it my baseline for the Game & Watch game where maybe it's not the best, but the art looks pretty cool. So I'll give it a 3.
All right, all Game Boy time. Radar Mission, aka Battleship.
I'm trying to.
I hope you have someone else who also has a Game Boy and Radar Mission and a link cable.
Yeah, because it's basically pointless to play.
Yes.
I'll give it a 2 because there's the off chance that maybe you do know a person with that, and then it's really cool.
F1 Race for the Game Boy. You know, my favorite platform for F1 games.
I'm kind of surprised that this never. Wait. Okay, there was the F1. F1 Race was on the. There was a Famicom version that came out. But what did this one look like? I don't know. This is probably bad. I do. Wait, so did this come bundled with the 4-player adapter?
It might have.
That's what there's box art that I'm looking at that includes new 4-player adapter for up to 4-player fun.
Sure.
I mean, I guess everybody probably still needs the fucking game.
Yes. So you're getting 4-player adapters.
Yeah, this don't look great. I'll give it a 2.
Super RC Pro-Am for the Game Boy, not for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. I guess did Nintendo not put out Pro-Am 2? Was that a thing, or am I making that up?
I don't think they did.
I thought there was an RC Pro-Am 2. It was not. It was not put up by Nintendo.
Yeah, it was in Rare Replay, but yeah, not Nintendo.
Yeah,
published.
yeah. It was Trade West put out on NES in '92.
Okay.
I do like. Okay, I have played this. It's not very good. But like it's one of those ones where doggone it, they tried. I'll give this one 4.
Okay. Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters.
Wow, it's a good Kid Icarus game. At least they did that on the second try, unlike Metroid.
Wow.
I do think Kid Icarus of Myths and Monsters is like a game that people have not. I feel like it never really got its due.
Nope, never did.
What did I give Metroid and Kid Icarus? I think I gave
Kid Icarus a 3.
A 3, and then I gave Metroid a 5.
Yes.
I will give a Myths and Monsters. I will give that one an 8 because I think it's a really good Game Boy game.
Yeah. Okay. And then Metroid 2: Return of Samus.
I will not be as lenient on that, and I don't think Return of Samus is a bad game. I think that's I don't think it's as good as If Myths and Monsters. I will give Metroid 2 Return to Samus a 6.
Okay. And then last for the year, Nintendo World Cup for the Game Boy.
Going to check to see what this one looks like. It's just basically I'll give it a 3 because that doesn't look like it's an enjoyable game on Game Boy.
Yoshi NES.
This is, oh god, I own this game and I've probably played way too much of it than any other human being should. I'll give it a 2.
Link to the Past.
All right, let's piss some people off because this isn't getting a 10 for me. It'll get a 9.
Okay. Super Scope 6.
I know. A Link to the Past is no game is perfect, but A Link to the Past is like fuck you. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a very good video game, and I just don't hold it quite as near and dear to my heart as I do some other games.
Super Scope 6.
All right, let's look to see what these Super Scope 6 are. I actually went through. I think a Super Scope is somewhere in my house or possibly my parents' house. I realized that Super Scope was relatively inexpensive. This was like 8 years ago. So I went and bought basically every Super Scope game that was. I think there was like 1 or 2 that was too expensive for me to mess with. And I got like a CRT and like played a bunch of Super Scope games.
Amazing.
Like I had some friends over. None of them are really that great.
Nope.
Oh, but this has Blastress though. It's not good. But boy howdy is it kind of fun. I will give Super Scope 6. Let's do half of 6, give it a 3.
Okay. Mario Paint.
I will give, I guess wait for me to finish with this logic. And then I think the idea of Mario Paint is very cool. It's a little clumsy having to use a mouse on a TV console and everything and having it be wired. But the Fly Swatter game is pretty cool. So I'm thinking that as 5 plus 1. So let's give it a 6.
Sure. Super Mario Kart.
I think this is the one where, once again, going in the context of thinking of when I would have played this, which we are getting to the point where it's kind of catching up to, like, I would have played this game when it came out. But I think Super Mario Kart, like, I would have been 4 years old when this game came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I still wasn't necessarily playing Super Mario Kart. There's what I will call, like, the law of Mario Kart is that the one that you, like, played the most when you were, like, aged, like, 9 to 12, that's probably the one that you might have, like, the fondest memories to. Even if I think that Mario Kart 64 just makes me instantly throw up if I try to look at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the one that I probably played the most. Super Mario Kart is a game that I know people that they swear by this game. Like, it's the greatest game ever made. And I would love to see, like, the 4 to 8 player online version of this racing game in this battle mode. But while it's very cool, the fact that it's only 2 player, I think even would have limited it for me in the mid to late 90s when I would have spent more time with it. So I will give Super Mario Kart a 6.
Okay. Super Play Action Football.
I will give that one a 4. It's getting there. And then Nintendo never made a football game again.
Battle Clash.
I think Battle Clash is the good one. I mean, Yoshi's yeah, I think Battle Clash is the good one.
Okay.
I will give that I like, or at least one of the good Super Scope games. I'll give that one a 6.
Okay.
I go through this whole thing about, like, I think I'm lowballing Super Mario Kart, and then I'm like, oh, this is the good Super Scope game, and they get the same number.
Hell yeah. Super Soccer.
I think this is another one that is on. Is this? I don't think this is good. But this is another one that's on Nintendo Switch Online, I believe. Yeah. I'll give this a 2 because I don't think I enjoyed playing this on Nintendo Switch Online at all.
Okay. NCAA basketball.
They put this out?
Yes, they did.
Wow. I never knew that. Oh, okay. This was HAL Labs put it out in Japan. And it was sculptured software. Which then other significant games by Sculptured Software include the Super Star Wars series, Doom on Super Nintendo,
Yep.
Mortal Kombat 1,
Yep.
2, and 3 on Super Nintendo, and then they became Acclaimed Salt Lake City. I assume they're fine now. Everybody from Acclaim turned out well.
Yeah.
I'll go with a 5 on this because like this does look like a game that it's kind of crazy how much it tries to go for the 3D effect.
Yes.
And I've not played this game, but from my quick Google search looking at the reception online, it seems like it doesn't play badly. It just might be the kind of thing where maybe it's too ambitious for its own good. Might not be something that holds up as well now, but we're never going to see it because it has NCAA in the name.
It's true. So you gave Yoshi on NES a 2. How do you feel about Yoshi on Game Boy?
That's going to get a 1.
Okay. Kirby's Dreamland.
I'll give that a 6 because I do think that I think Kirby's Dreamland is really fun, and I think Dreamland 2 I will be a lot higher on, because I think kind of you need. Actually, you know what? Bump down Dreamland to 5.
Okay.
Because it's fine, but I really don't think the Kirby games get that good until they bring in like the core mechanic of what Kirby is.
Valid.
Yeah, and I had to think about it a little bit and remember that while Dreamland is a game that I've played a few times in my day. I think I've even because that's the one where you get to the end and then you unlock a hard mode. I've done both of those, and it's a totally fine game, but it's not amazing. And I think it's where like Kirby's Adventure and Dreamland 2 and 3 and Superstars where that series starts to, I don't know, probably peak.
I don't know. Those 3DS games are neat.
Yeah, and I still forget. You hate Star Allies, don't you?
I think Star Allies is very generic. I do not hate it.
So, I think that Star Allies suffers a little bit from like New Super Mario Brothers Wii and New Super Mario Brothers U, where the multiplayer aspect of it takes away from what is overall a pretty fine game. And I do view like Triple Deluxe. I think Planet Robobo is the best of those 3, but I don't think Star Allies is as far behind Triple Deluxe and Robobo.
Okay.
But like that's the kind of thing that I feel like there's the generic presentation to Star Allies, and I think the late game stuff of Star Allies starts to get back into the weird shit that made Triple Deluxe and Robobo so good.
I wish it was more of that.
It takes a while to get there.
I mean, you and I have had many discussions recently about Nintendo games that take a while to get weird.
Yeah.
Wave Race, Game Boy.
I like that this exists, but I don't know.
It's the first one. It started as a Game Boy franchise.
Holy crap! Yeah, it didn't even hit me that we haven't gotten to other Wave Race yet.
No, this isn't a port. This is the original.
Who would do that? Pax Sofnica. No wonder the series died.
Wow.
Like why did you do? I do love that this didn't come out in Europe until 1997.
Fuck them.
I'll give this a 3.
Okay, and then Super Mario Land 2.
I will give that one an 8.
Okay, we are below a 5.0 for this year because of Yoshi.
God. Fucking Yoshi.
All right, 1993, Yoshi's Cookie.
I'll give that a 3 because it's better than Yoshi, but not really.
Kirby's Adventure.
I will give that an 8.
By the way, get ready for there to be too much Kirby because we're already here. There's second year and there's already 2 Kirby games. NES Tetris 2.
The fuck?
They made a sequel to Tetris. You're gonna see a lot of sequels to Tetris. A lot of them. GX, start the counter up again.
What the fuck?
There's
this also came out on Super Nintendo?
Yes, and there's a Tetris 2 on Game Boy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Tetris 2.
Why did they do this?
I don't know, you made a Mario 2, why wouldn't you make a Tetris 2?
Yeah.
At this point, it's not timeless.
Yeah.
At this point, it's the new hotness, so of course you're going to try and make a sequel.
I was going to say which, so this is the NES version?
NES. You can also write Game Boy while we're at it, but Super Nintendo's later.
Yeah, so I will factor in Game Boy and NES. I think I will give the NES one a 4 and the Game Boy one a 3.
Okay. Star Fox.
All right, is John Raritan here? Can
No.
I be honest about Star Fox?
Yes, you may be honest about Star Fox.
No, I love the first Star Fox game. I had a friend who lived down the road from me that had a Super Nintendo. I actually grew up in a Sega Genesis household.
Mm-hmm.
And then my aforementioned cousin, he got to a certain age where he just gave me and my brother his NES. So that was like early to mid 90s. It was NES and Sega Genesis. Then I got a Nintendo 64 shortly after it came out. I did not get a Super Nintendo until the Super Nintendo to call my own.
Mm-hmm.
Played a shitload of Super Nintendo games until like I want to say like 2002. I got a Super Nintendo in box. That like I don't think it was a bundle. I don't think there was a system bundle for Star Fox.
There was not.
But I got a Super Nintendo that was in box and also a copy of Star Fox for $35.
Hell yeah.
In 2002, which was even at the time just a really good deal.
Yep.
Like, so that was by technicality not the first Super Nintendo game I played by a long stretch, but it was the first Super Nintendo game that I could call my own.
I'm sorry.
And I think that game is awesome. I think it has some flaws that are smoothed over by Star Fox 64, but it still holds a special place in my heart.
Oh,
and
like the part where it runs at 4 frames per second.
I mean, once you get used to it, it's not that bad. Just wait until we get to 2017, and then I can start talking about Star Fox 2, because that's probably gonna.
Oh
really
no!
like
I thought you were gonna say 2016, so we could start talking about Star Fox Zero, and I was gonna be like, oh boy.
It's gonna get weird when we get to the games that I've actually reviewed.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Because I don't want you to pull up your review scores. I want it off the top of the dome.
I mean, the unfortunate thing is that like I remember off the top of my head that I gave Star Fox 0 an 8. Like,
ooh, yeah. Ooh.
I understand it's a very weird control scheme. The control scheme from the minute I played a demo of it at the E3 that it was at, just clicked with me.
Yeah.
Like that's my one thing, is that like that control scheme made sense to me without me having to like do a playthrough to have it hook me or whatever.
I just also think the content in that game is bad, but
there's I mean, it's the same thing where they've remade the same fucking game like 10 times over 30 years.
Yes. Speaking of,
I do love the creativity on display in Super Nintendo Star Fox. It's a game that tries really hard to do something very impressive on a system that can't handle it. This is probably over ranking it, but once again, a little nostalgia playing in here. I'll give it a 7.
Okay. Speaking of remaking the same game over and over again, Super Mario All-Stars.
Oh shit. It's weird because if I break this down, I think what I gave like Super Mario 1, 2, and 3, 9, 9, and 10. But I don't think I'd give Super Mario All-Stars a 9 or a 10.
Because it has lost levels and that tanks it?
I also think that like there's something about the art style, like the homogenized art style, that I don't like as much.
I don't like the homogenized physics, but that's just me.
Yeah, and the physics as well. I was actually just going to mention the physics in addition to the art style. And like there are two things that and with this, like I kind of recently messed around with this when it came out on Switch Online. Is that going away on March 31st? I forget.
They haven't said that's going away on March 31st.
I would laugh.
It's Super Mario 35 goes offline. 3D All Stars no longer gets sold. Shadow Dragon can't be bought from the eShop anymore.
Yeah.
But codes could be redeemed in theory.
I'll give this one an 8.
Okay. Yoshi's Safari.
I'll give that a 7 because I loved shooting Yoshi in the back of the head and just have him be like, "What the fuck, man?"
Metal Combat Falcon's Revenge.
Okay, I think this is the sequel to Battle Clash. Which once again I had that moment where I got all the Super Scope games. What did I give Battle Clash again?
You gave Battle Clash a 6 for being one of the good Super Scope games.
I'll give this one a 6 as well, because I remember playing through both of these, and one did not stand out over the other. They were both really fun.
Vegas Stakes.
I forgot that because is Vegas Dream was HAL Labs published,
yes,
wasn't it?
Vegas Stakes is Nintendo published.
So Vegas Dream is where all my memories are. I have played Vegas Stakes, and I wouldn't say that Vegas Dream is really a good game, other than the fact that I love that it's like ostensibly I don't think it's well, I guess it would have been before any kind of rating, but it's a kids game where you can basically get you can meet a lady in a casino and then she steals all your money. Yeah. And that's hilarious to me, that it was just I'm just playing blackjack and someone will be like, "You seem like you're pretty good. You want to get off this floor?" And then it's like, "She killed you." And it's, whoa, this took a turn. But I don't have the warm, fuzzy nostalgia of playing this game with my brother, my sister, my cousin, which I do have with Vegas Dreams. And Vegas Stakes is it's a shitty casino game on Super Nintendo.
Yep.
I will give it a 4.
Okay. NHL Stanley Cup.
Another one that I can't believe that Nintendo actually published this. It's another Sculpture Software one that makes sense. I don't know what it uses modes. It's wild. I didn't realize that Nintendo kind of had this relationship with Sculptured Software. Maybe there's an alternate reality where maybe Nintendo buys Sculptured Software instead of Retro Studios. I wonder what that's like.
They probably put out more games.
Yeah.
I don't know if the games are as high quality, but they probably put out more of them.
Yeah, I would love to see the comparison to ROI. It's actually probably higher, because also, what's the highest selling Metroid Prime game? 200,000 copies?
Yeah, it's one on the GameCube.
Yeah, you know what? Let's see. Metroid Prime 1 sales.
Not good. I'll tell you that. Not by today's standards.
It seems like it passed 1 million.
You know what else passed 1 million?
Everything.
Everything. Clubhouse games in a week.
Okay, so, I'm not looking... I'm trusting wikis here, which is always a dicey proposition. But at a quick glance... Okay, so Metroid Prime 1 seems like it was a little under 3 million, is what... It's actually... It actually might be the best-selling Metroid game? That makes sense.
Oh, yeah, no. Fucking Metroid does not sell.
Yeah, it's Metroid Prime seems like it's basically in line with Metroid on NES.
I mean, think about it in terms of, time and place. The ones that would have sold, that could have had a chance to sell extremely well, would be the 2 GBA games that weren't very heavily marketed.
Yeah.
And didn't have large manufacturing runs.
And Zero Mission came out. Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't necessarily phased out yet, because that was first half of 2004.
Yeah. And then fucking the only other one would be Other M.
Yeah.
In terms of audience is actively paying attention to this console at this time.
Yeah, because Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, that
very early.
I think 1.5 million by this wiki that I just looked up.
No one could get the system when it came out.
Yeah.
At that point, you're bottlenecked by the console you're on, but not for the Wii U reason.
Yeah.
Yes, Metroid does not sell, it turns out. That's why they don't make them.
Yeah. It will be funny, because almost instantly, if Metroid Prime 4 actually comes out before the Switch gravy train runs out, which, I mean, it depends on what Nintendo does. Like,
Yeah.
I I was talking to someone recently where I said that I basically just I sit here and wait every day for the mushroom cloud to show up, just because Nintendo always does it. Like, they always fuck it up. Like, it's just, right as rain. They're gonna like, they are on top of the world right now. They own Japan. They have the
I'm
best
not
selling
going to speak
console.
ill about the current business practices of my active business partner.
But I mean, well, one, there's nothing to speak ill of what they're doing
Oh
now.
yes, right
Like,
now
right
they're
now they're
fucking
doing
killing it.
great. It's just that I've heard this song before, where, like, remember, they were kicking ass on Wii, and
Eh,
then look at what happened. And I'm hoping they don't screw it up. I'm hoping whatever they do with the Switch Pro or what have you, it lands perfectly. Everything keeps on going great. But uh, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me three times. Like, Nintendo needs to prove me wrong before I'm like, they're gonna do great no matter what.
Mm.
Um, but if Metroid Prime 4 comes out at a time where the Switch is doing even maybe a little worse than it is now, it will almost instantly be the best-selling Metroid game
Yes.
in less than a year.
I will say that Nintendo's handheld to handheld rarely has problems.
That is true.
It's their
Yeah, because I
console to
mean, the
console
only
that has
thing is that
problems.
the only drop ever was DS to 3DS, which was their most successful console of all time, to one that is still in the top five.
Well, GB to GBA, but
Yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of different contexts there.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, that's the same. I feel like it's the same thing of, like, GB to GBA and DS to 3DS. Is that, like, you're following up a historic success with a thing that is also very successful.
Yes. Real quick, you never ranked NHL Stanley Cup.
Okay. Let's go five with that.
Okay. So you gave Yoshi's Cookie on NES a 3. What about Game Boy Yoshi's Cookie?
Let's keep on doing the one less, because, well, yeah, I'll go with a two.
Okay. GB Top Rank Tennis.
What is top ranked tennis? It's another PAX Softnica game. Apparently, this is a more realistic tennis game. I have some doubts. Um,
Virtual Tennis Eat Your Heart Out.
I'll give this one a three.
Okay. Link's Awakening.
So when we get to the Switch version, I will probably be a lot harsher. But this also isn't the DX version either.
Link's
The DX
Awakening is
version-
going to be on the spreadsheet 3 times.
All right. Not the DX version. I will give this one. I also need to do it in the context of when it came out. I don't want to do it in 2020 context. I will give this an 8.
Okay. Kirby's Pinball Land.
I have pretty fond memories of this game, so I will give it. I'll go with a 6 here.
Okay. Over a 5. At this point, right here, that is our standard. Is it above or below a 5? When we get to, like, more modern shit, it will, of course, almost always be above a 5. But,
Yeah.
1994, before I turn the page, and without checking anything, I have one question for you. Nintendo is going to launch in 1994 Nintendo America, their 3 final NES games. What are they?
One of them is Warriors Woods.
Correct.
That I will probably rate way higher than any other human being on the planet. I fucking love that game.
Uh-huh.
I'm one of, I think there's dozens of us. I don't know.
Yes.
Oh shit.
3 NES games in 94, their last ones.
I think Warriors Woods, I believe, is the last one.
Yes.
Shit. So what were the ones? So Yoshi's Cookie, Kirby's Adventure, Tetris 2, Star Fox. I don't think there was another Kirby game, because that's what I would expect.
It's not Kirby. They're both sequels.
Tetris 2 already came out this year.
One of them is something that you're just blanking on. One of them is something that might surprise you.
Star Tropics 2.
Yep.
Um,
What is the other one? This is a mind fuck for people who don't remember that they put this one out. They didn't put it out in Japan. They put it out in North America. 1994. Any guesses?
is it like Dr. Mario 2?
No.
Okay, I give up.
Mega Man 6.
Oh, fuck.
Because Capcom
Yeah.
refused.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, how would you rank them? Star Tropics 2?
But I think I gave the first Star Tropics a 6.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this one a 7 for the sole otherwise I'm gonna give it a 6 because I think those two games I think the gameplay of the first Star Tropics might be better, but Star Tropics 2 is less of a shit show. I think it's the funniest thing in the world that this is a game where you're traveling through history. You're gonna meet Cleopatra and this totally real person, Sherlock Holmes.
Amazing.
It's hilarious, and it's something that as I played this as a kid, I had that moment of but he's in a book, he's not real, and it just really confused me because it was they play it as okay, yes, Cleopatra really likes pizza, but it's all you're going to actual historical places, and then you go to London and it's Sherlock Holmes.
Yep. So 7?
Yes.
Okay. Wario's Woods?
7.
Mega Man 6. This is
mean,
after Mega Man X and I think X2.
I don't think I'm now trying to think of my Mega Man personal rankings. 6 is totally fine. I'll give it a 5.
Okay. Super Metroid.
10.
Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball.
Whew.
There's going to be a lot of Ken Griffey Jr. games, so
yeah. I mean,
keep straight.
the first one on N64 will be the one that I will put all the love on. This one's still pretty good. This is the Rare developed one. Yep. I'm almost positive. I will give this one a 7 because it's still a really good baseball game.
Okay. Uniracers.
This might be where we get to more impassioned hot takes. Fuck Uniracers. I think this game is hot shit. It's garbage. It is a game in which it's if there's a human out there who's fuck Sonic the Hedgehog and they like Uniracers, what the shit? I don't get it. Because Uniracers has the same. It has that problem of you're going fast, but you can't see what's ahead of you. I played this there was a PAX East where I played a lot of this game, and I don't get it. I do not get the appeal of this game at all. This is a little bit more emotional. It's probably not this bad, but I'm giving it a fucking 2 because I don't get the hype. It's not. I don't enjoy that game.
Stunt Race FX.
It is really cool that it is functional on the Super Nintendo. With maybe a quote marks around functional, but I don't think Stunt Race FX is a good video game, despite having some personality. So I'll give it a 3.
Tetris 2 for the Super Nintendo.
I will give that a 5.
Super Punch Out.
I will give that an 8.
Donkey Kong Country.
I'll give that a 5.
Tin Star.
Okay, got it. Once again, this is a game that I have played within the past decade, because I went on that Super Scope binge. Oh yeah, this is the one. This is the Nintendo put. Oh yeah, Software Creations made it. Who else? Oh yeah, they did fucking Block.
Software Creations is in the same league as Tokyo RPG Factory for what the fuck are you doing naming your studio that?
Yeah. I just want to bask in what else they made around this era. I don't know. They apparently did Oh yeah. Oh fuck. Tim Fallon did the music for that first Ken Griffey Super Nintendo game. Holy
Sure.
shit. Wait. Go back to the Griffey game. Make that an 8. Just
Okay.
by the fact of Tim Fallon. I didn't realize. The Super Nintendo Griffey one. The first one on Super Nintendo was Software Creations. I guess the second one on Super Nintendo was Rare. But
Mm.
they also did The Simpsons, Bart and the Beanstalk on Game Boy. Then they made Tin Star in 1994. They made Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety
Sure.
on Genesis and Super Nintendo, which is a mediocre beat 'em up that I played a lot of because Spider-Man was on the cover. And then they brought Hexen to Nintendo 64.
Hell yeah.
But
So,
Tin Star's pretty good. Uh, but where do I want to hold that up?
good Super Scope game has gotten 6 before.
Yeah,
Unless you're
I'm gonna
Yoshi
go with
Safari.
I'm gonna go with a 6 on that. This is another one where it's worth like some of the names. So Tin Star is the main character. There's also Judge Soybean. He's the mayor of East Driftwood.
Dumb.
Bugsy J.
Wario's Woods for the Super Nintendo.
I do not have the nostalgia for the Super Nintendo version. I think it's also weirdly like I don't think the Super Nintendo version has ever showed up on Virtual Console. I think it's always been the
Yeah,
NES
they never
version.
re-release it. It's
I'll
functionally
give,
the same game.
I'll give this one a 5 because while I do carry the torch for Wario's Woods, I just haven't spent a lot of time with the Super Nintendo one.
Go to Google Images and search for Super Pinball Behind the Mask.
Super Pinball Behind the Mask. What in the fuck? Who is this developer?
Go on this journey.
K's? What? They apparently did a Mega 10 pinball game in 2006. That's the last thing they did? Do they just make slot machines? Is that... It looks like they kind of just make slot machines. There's a lot of pachinko. And
Want to go to YouTube and search for Super Pinball Behind the Mask?
that's,
Trust me, this is... Of all the weird games that Nintendo's put out, this is one of the journeys that's worth going on.
I'm on a long play. Okay, that's horrifying. Looking at the masks, the music's pretty good. Meldak. Blackbeard and Iron Man.
It's a perfectly normal game, Neil. Perfectly normal.
That Joker is haunting.
Nintendo put this out.
Why?
I have no fucking clue. No one has the answer to that.
And I will say, like, the music's pretty fun, but it also feels like it could take a few wrong turns, and then it's just a softcore porn.
Uh-huh.
Let's see what the reception here on Wikipedia is. GamePro said it's straightforward and not very imaginative. EGM said it is probably the best looking home pinball game out there, but that's about it. So it was put out in Japan by Meldak. Meldak, a company that has also produced albums for Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Hell yeah.
Oh, Meldak did Hyanko Alien or whatever the fuck, which is a bizarre game.
Anyways, this is an incredibly cursed game. What do you give it?
I'll give it a 2.
Okay.
I forgot that Nintendo published Illusion of Gaia.
In the US, they did.
Yeah. Who do we have to threaten to get Soul Blazer, Illusion of Gaia, and Terranigma out on modern platforms?
Terranigma is a fucking... Like, that is an emulation nightmare.
Yeah, I know that's a... I did neither confirming nor denying that I've hacked my Super Nintendo Classic. But if I were, Terranigma doesn't work very well on it. I did actually play some Soul Blazer, by those means, and I had a copy of Illusion of Gaia back in the era when I got that Super Nintendo in the early 2000s, and I wound up selling it for like I think 3 times what I paid for it because I was a teenager and thought that was a good idea at the time. I think if I wanted to go back and buy Illusion of Gaia now, it is probably more money than what I sold it for.
Yep.
But I think it's a really good game. I'll give it an 8.
Okay. 1 second. I'm checking prices. While I do this, Super Mario Land 3.
I need to make sure I know. Oh well, so I can looking at the list. Donkey Kong 94 is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Okay. Real quick, if you want just a US cartridge of Illusion of Gaia, you're looking at about $25.
Oh, okay, it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. I think there was a period where I kept on seeing it for like 30 or 40. Because it was a game that I think I got it for like sub $5, and then just saw like I'd beaten it and was like, oh, I can get like $25-30 for this.
Hey, I'm sorry. I just got an email from Square Enix saying that as part of the showcase, they announced a PS5 version of FF14.
So whenever I get my PS5,
It'll
maybe
launch
I'll play that. Yeah.
April 13th, including significantly improved frame rates, fast load time, 4K resolution support, and more.
I do look forward that the reason why I will eventually get a PlayStation 5 is because Square will not have totally, or I guess Square Japan to be specific, will have not totally gone to any other place because a lot of the, I guess I'm mostly looking at like Final Fantasy VII Remake and 16. It seems like it's a combination of Square not seeing the value in downporting a game for the Nintendo platform or bothering with porting a game to Xbox with that significant money, and then Sony coming in and throwing money at them as well.
Yep, pretty much. I will say
I would love to see 7 Remake get ported to Xbox, but until that actually gets announced, I have doubts.
Yeah, possibly this year.
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough if that happens or not.
Yes.
I think it's the kind of thing that like I think the PC version is probably like almost a sure thing. It's just waiting for the year exclusivity or whatever.
Yeah.
I would love for it to come to Series X because I would want to play that. But then there's a problem of Remake Part 2. It's probably wind up being Sony exclusive for a year.
Players whose Final Fantasy XIV online service account has a registered license for the PS4 version may download and play the PS5 upgrade version at no extra cost at the start of the open beta period. While new players can experience the game on the PlayStation 5 through the free trial, the full version of the game will be available on PS5 following the conclusion of the beta. It does not confirm. The language is just vague enough. To include a possibility of you can play the beta if you have it for PS4, but you need to buy it again on PS5 if you want to keep the PS5 version. Which I'm not sure they're going to do, but it's just vague enough. So, sorry. Super Mario Land 3.
I am not as high on especially I think I need to make sure I have my Wario Lands in order.
This is Wario Land 1, the very first one.
Because I think I want to say, I think I'm not the highest on 1 and 2. I think I like 3 a lot, but
3
2
is
and
where
3,
people really like it.
I know, like it's the one where like I know people love these games, and I think 4 is totally fine. Like I feel like 4 is the one that everybody forgets about. Mm-hmm. I'll give this one a 5 because like I can't call any of the Wario Land games bad, but even playing them when I was younger and playing them on 3DS Virtual Console, it's just like I think they're okay.
Space Invaders on a Game Boy cartridge.
Let's see what this version looks like.
It looks like Space Invaders.
Yeah, it's short as Space Invaders. Guess what game? I don't really want to... Listen, if I'm playing this on like a TI-84 calculator, that's incredible. If I'm playing this on a Game Boy, I don't give a shit.
1994.
I'd give that one a 2.
Wario Blast featuring Bomberman.
Is this the one that's it's just fucking Bomberman, right?
It's just Bomberman.
Oh yeah, and this is the one that... Yeah, I forgot that it was just Bomberman GB elsewhere. They just slapped Wario's fucking face on it.
Yep.
I don't remember this game really being any good. I'll give it a 3.
Okay, we're over a 5. I'm just also thinking about how fucking bonkers it is that the same team that's putting out FF16 is launching a fucking $80 to $100 RPG this year in FF14. And they said at today's announcement, don't worry, this isn't the last expansion by a long shot. Uh-huh.
Square, like, I don't get, like, I mean, I'm still impressed that they, like, put out Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy VII Remake, like, not that far apart from each other. I really thought that, like, one was going to come at the expense of the other.
No. Look, the FF14 team, Creative Business Unit 1, is like the fucking golden goose.
Yeah.
They're just going to give it as many resources as possible because they turned around the biggest nightmare in the company since Spirits Within and turned it into a fucking cash cow. That is a $15 a month subscription on millions of players.
Yeah.
That is a fucking cash cow. Anyways.
Like someday I'll play 14.
Anyways, get ready for 1995, aka a trash year.
Virtual Boy.
Oh, it's not even that.
It's my people.
Earthbound.
I will give Earthbound... It's hard because the gameplay of Earthbound kind of sucks, but like everything else about it is absolutely incredible.
Sounds like a 7 to me.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's a 7.
Kirby's Dream Course. There's a lot of Kirby games this year. A lot.
I'm trying to think. I'll go 6 with Dream Course.
Kirby's Avalanche.
That's the Puyo Puyo one, right?
Yes. Puyo Puyo's good.
I'll give that a 6.
Killer Instinct Super Nintendo. Yeah, that's the right reaction. James turned to me and was like, "So how is this version?" And I had to inform him, trash.
Yeah, I'll give that one a 3. I don't know if I still own that, but that's one that I had in my possession at some point, and I put it on and was like, nope.
Before you answer this next one, I want to inform you that there is no number you can give that will make myself and everyone in the chat happy. Yoshi's Island.
So if I were to give this in the context of how I feel now, it would probably be lower. But in the spirit of this, thinking more of how I feel at the time or when I first played it, I'd have to. I feel like I have to go like 9.
Oh.
I forget where do you fall on Yoshi's Island? Are you
fuck Yoshi's Island?
Okay.
Do you want me to play the baby crying sound effect into the mic for an hour?
Actually, put it down to an 8.
Okay.
I will say that Yoshi's Island is a game that I've softened on a lot over time. That like I don't think it's as good, but there was definitely a period of my life, probably early to mid 2000s, where I'm like, that's an incredible platformer, maybe one of the best.
Fuck that egg throwing mechanic.
Yeah, no, that there are parts of it that suck. I think it visually looks incredible. I think some of the level design is really good.
I think the visual design is good. I think the audio design is terrible. I think that the Baby Mario penalty system sucks. I think the part where it doesn't save your collectibles progress unless you got all the collectibles on a run, fucking trash decision.
Well, I guess I just replied to GX in the chat, who said, was I on that Patreon game club? And I'm pretty sure I was, and I think that might have been the moment where I realized that I'm like, oh, maybe Yoshi's Island isn't as good as I thought it was.
Yeah. Let me put it this way. This is one of those games that this is like one of the games where history slowly but surely starts coming around to my side on things, and I just hold my hands up like the gif of Elmo with the fire behind him, and I'm like, yes.
So I do wonder, and I will give my number for
Yes.
Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest, which this is maybe my slight troll of I'm probably just going to give all the Donkey Kong Country games at Super Nintendo 5s.
Okay.
Do you think that Donkey Kong Country 2 is better than Yoshi's Island?
Yes.
Okay. Like big gap or
No.
okay. Cuz that's my thing is my I think there was a time in my life, probably maybe a slightly more aggressive Neal 5 to 10 years ago, that would have been like, oh, the Donkey Kong Country games on Super Nintendo were just shit. I just like I think they're fine. I think they're overstuffed.
Yeah.
I don't like I feel like the visuals make it harder to play in some spots. There's, especially in the first one, there's a lot of a thing that Yoshi games are rotten with, which is like, how did you not know that there was this thing hidden off screen or like a hidden fucking cloud? Which, like, that's terrible game design, and
it's fucking awful.
When we get to Yoshi's Woolly World, which will be a game that I will probably be way harsher on than the average person, that's why, because it feels like every fucking level in that game has some hidden goddamn cloud, and it's like, unless I walked through this platform in the exact perfect way, I'm not going to find it.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree with you on that style of level design. I think that the Donkey Kong Country games are a very natural precursor to what that studio does on the N64.
That makes sense.
I think the lineage is very clear and very obvious.
Overstuffed games that do an admirable attempt at
doing
ripping off what Nintendo does very well.
Yes. Personally, I would give Yoshi's Island, if I'm being genuine, I would give Yoshi's Island a 4 and DKC a 5. If I was being inflammatory, I would give Yoshi's Island a 3 and DKC 2 a 5.
All right, these next couple should be pretty easy to
Mario's
go through.
Picross.
I love that game. However, even if I were to have played this game the day it came out, like early, I guess like pre-touchscreen Picross games, are always kind of rough around the edges. Like I feel like there's a lot of niceties that don't show up. Having played a lot of a game that will not show up on here, which is the Mario Super Picross, the one that came out on Nintendo Switch Online. Like, I played a ton of that, but it's also like a really rough Picross game because it's like one of the first Picross video games ever made.
Yep.
So I will give Mario's Picross a 6, even if there's part of me that like wants to just give it a 10 out of 10 because I love Picross.
Kirby's Dreamland 2.
I will give this one a 7.
Donkey Kong Land, which I want to be clear, there's Donkey Kong Land, and then there's the Donkey Kong. They do Donkey Kong Land on Game Boy and Game Boy Color, and they do the Donkey Kong Country ports, but this is like a half port.
I think I believe I played a lot of Donkey Kong Land and Donkey Kong Land 2 just because I had them. Like, for what they are, it's pretty neat that they got it to work.
It is a good technical accomplishment.
Yeah, I'll give Donkey Kong Land 1 a 3. And actually bump down Dreamland 2 to a 6.
All right, we are going to get into the real bullshit this year. We have already gone through all of the best stuff that came out this year. Are you ready?
Yes.
Killer Instinct for the Game Boy.
2.
Kirby's Block Ball, aka Kirby's Arkanoid.
I'll give that a 5. I kind of enjoy that one.
Vegas Stakes for the Game Boy.
Trying to think. I'm gonna double check, because I think that might be one that I have played.
Funky Kong is Donkey Kong's Wario.
I will give that one a 3.
Street Fighter 2 for the Game
Holy
Boy Black and
shit.
White.
2.
Arcade Classics, Asteroids and Missile Command on a full-price cartridge.
Oh shit. All right, so what are these? So we have Arcade Classics, we have Asteroids and Missile Command, we have Centipede and Millipede,
Galaga Galaxian, and Joust and Defender. All four of
Okay.
these are on separate cartridges.
I'm going to
Fuck 1995 Nintendo.
let's go Asteroids and Missile Command a 2.
Uh-huh.
Joust and Defender and Galaga and Galaxian each a 1. And I'll do Centipede a 1.
Okay.
I was trying to think, like, because it's more thinking about those from the full price cartridge.
Yeah.
Of the art, like, I don't think those games are all like they're not terrible. It's a highway robbery, but I look at Asteroids and Missile Command, at least there's variety.
Yeah.
And Centipede and Mill, it's the same fucking game.
Yes,
like,
it is.
Don't get me wrong, like Centipede's a fun arcade game. Galaga and Galaxian, like, fun arcade games, but fuck that.
In case you're wondering, why the fuck Nintendo's 1995 was so bad, one, as we're about to get to, they had diverted a lot of resources, perhaps foolishly, to the Virtual Boy.
And then also the Nintendo 64 kept getting
And
delayed.
Nintendo 64 was, like, a lot of resources.
This is some 2016 bullshit right here.
Yes, this is a really bad year. Galactic Pinball for the Virtual Boy.
I'll give that a 4.
Mario's Tennis, one of the three good ones.
I'll give that a 5.
Tellero Boxer.
I'll give that a 4.
Mario Clash.
I'll give that a 4.
Wario Land.
7.
Red Alarm.
Red Alarm. Yeah, Vertical Force is the shooter. Red Alarm is the weird Star Foxy kind of thing.
Something like that. Yeah.
I'll give Red Alarm a 3.
Panic Bomber, which, holy fuck that name. That is a pre-2001 name.
Yep. Oh, is this the one? Yeah, this is the... Oh, wait, I forgot. Is this
If you Google search Panic Bomber, you get put on a list.
I'll give this one a 3.
Virtual Boy Golf.
Oh, that's bad, too.
Vertical Force.
3.
What a fucking terrible year.
That's not...
Nope. 1980 to 1983 is still lower on your score. Same with 1986. It is not the worst. It's not the lowest year. Pretty much because of Yoshi's Island and Earthbound, honestly. But, like, holy shit, some of these.
Yep.
Killer Instinct and Street Fighter 2 on the Game Boy on the same year. Jesus Christ. All right, 96. Super Mario RPG.
I will give that a 9. I fucking love that game.
Kirby Superstar.
I'll give that an 8.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s Winning Run. This is the rare one.
All right. Yeah, this is the rare one. I'm just making sure. This will probably be a 7.
Okay.
I'm just after the fact that I assumed that it was, this is the rare one. Yeah, I'll give that one a 7.
Okay. Tetris Attack.
Tetris Attack rules. I'll give that one an 8.
Okay. Dixie Kong's Double Trouble.
Thank God they just farted those games out year after year. I'll give it a 5.
Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow.
Holy shit! I didn't
Don't worry.
realize they published this.
The next one is Disney's Pinocchio.
Oh man, Maui Mallard in Cold Shadow is one of those games that I would always see at like the video game rental thing and be like, that's probably good, and it's fine. Like it's not. I'll give it a 4, but it blows my mind that Nintendo published that in America and Europe too.
Yes. By the way, try not to look too far ahead on the list, but we're going to get a lot of Tetris games this year. They released 4 games with Tetris in the name this year.
Jesus. So what the hell is Disney's Pinocchio on Super Nintendo?
Specifically, it's Pinocchio being the classic Disney franchise that Disney was the least like that they were the most willing to try experiments with in the 90s, including like home video.
This game doesn't look that bad.
So Maui Mallard and Disney's Pinocchio numbers.
4 for Maui Mallard, and I'll give a 4 for Pinocchio.
Super Mario 64.
10.
Pilot Wing 64. Featuring Nestor.
I'll give that one a 6.
Wave Race 64.
A 7.
Killer Instinct Gold. 3 Killer Instinct games in 2 years.
Jesus Christ. Killer Instinct Gold's a pretty good 2D fighter. I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Cruis'n USA.
Ooh, this is like, what does my heart want to say, but what does my mind want to say?
Go with the mind.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Ah, shit. This is another one where, did I play a lot of Star Wars Shadows of the Empire? Yes. Did I think it was a good game? Not really, ever. A lot of glitches. Used a lot of cheat codes to get around some bullshit.
Yep.
Let's be a little harsher than I probably. I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Back to the Game Boy. Tetris Attack.
I don't know if I've ever actually played Tetris Attack on Game Boy.
It's paneled upon without color.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Give that a 3.
Okay. Goes from an 8 to a 3 because it lacks color. That's valid. Donkey Kong Land 2.
What did I give the first Donkey Kong Land? I think I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
I think the second one is my memory is that the second one is better. I'll give it a 4.
Tetris Blast for the Game Boy. You know, the sequel to Tetris.
Is that the? All right, let's look at this fucking video. What in the fuck is this?
The sequel to Tetris. I don't know what's so confusing.
I'm offended. Give it a fucking 1.
Nestor's Funky Bowling.
A totally fine Virtual Boy bowling game. I'll give it a 3 because it's still a Virtual Boy game.
Virtual Boy 3D Tetris.
All right, double checking to see what this one was because I know there's the 2 Tetris games on Virtual Boy. I think this is the horrifically bad one. Yes, this is the horrifically bad one. Give it a 2.
Okay, but not as bad as Tetris Blast.
No. One doesn't 3D Tetris is just bad. Tetris Blast just offended me.
I want to be clear that in a year that gave us Super Mario RPG and Super Mario 64, the average score and Super Mario Superstar, the average score for the year was 5.2.
Yeah, in a one that there's a slam dunk 10 and a slam dunk 9, and it's still weighed down.
Turns out you can have too many sequels to Tetris in 1 year. All right, 97. Kirby's Dream Land 3.
No wonder the Tetris company got so protective of the IP.
It's because there was a lot of... This is also the era of fucking Wetris.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Kirby's Dream Land 3 is a very slow-paced platformer, but the soundtrack slaps. The artwork is gorgeous, and I think if this game didn't come out in 1997, people would probably be talking more highly of it.
I agree.
I will give it a 7.
Space Invaders for the Super Nintendo. It's just Space Invaders.
All right, give it a 2. I'm not even going to waste my time Googling.
Arkanoid: Do It Again.
What the fuck?
DOH is the name of the villain of Arkanoid, which was the thing that we found out after 5 full minutes of research when James got to this.
Do it again. Yeah. Faust escapes Do's realm and returns to the Arkanoid, which is now the 14th Stardom. What the fuck?
Did you know that Arkanoid had lore before today?
No.
It's either a 1 or a 10,
yeah.
it feels like.
Yeah, like the craft is known as the Voss. Like, what the... Since when? Where is the Arkanoid movie? Because I think I'd see that. Like, look at this fucking... This box art is ridiculous. There's like a Moai statue guy. And it uses the Super Nintendo mouse, if you want.
Fuck yeah, it does.
The fact that it uses a Super Nintendo mouse might have just bumped it up from being hot bullshit. So I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Mario Kart 64, same year. This is also the same year as GoldenEye.
Mario Kart 64. This is the real measure of... I do not value Mario Kart 64 that highly now, but back in the day, like, this was the gospel. So I will give it an 8. If it were based on 2021 standards, that's like a fucking 4.
Blast Core.
Blast Core, I'll give that a 7.
Jarrett Goblin, it is really called Do It Again. Star Fox 64.
I will give that an 8.
Tetris Sphere, the sequel to Tetris.
All right, let's look at Tetris Sphere. Oh my god! Like, why? I just needed to remind myself. Like, I've played this game before, but like, what fresh hell is this video game? Oh god. Once again, I totally get why the Tetris company got really protective over the IP. Like, I've never seen it as nakedly laid out as this. I'll give Tetris Sphere 2.
GoldenEye.
That's another one where, actually, fuck it, I think this game's still pretty cool today. Like,
The game was really good at the time.
That Xbox Live Arcade thing that leaked, like, I would play that game I would play the campaign and play it on multiplayer for years. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna give this a 9.
Okay. Diddy Kong Racing. Featuring Conker.
Alright, so what did I gave Mario Kart 64 an 8. I'll give this one a 6. Because I think the adventure is really cool. The multiplayer just it doesn't hold a candle to Mario Kart 64.
Let me pitch it to you this way. Diddy Kong Racing is to Mario Kart 64 as Donkey Kong 64 is to Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
They just blow everything.
I did like the layout of the adventure stuff is really cool. It's also less cool the more time away from it we get. Where like, I especially learned that by like playing Crash Team Racing when it came out on Switch and every other platform the other year. Mm-hmm. Where like I remember loving Crash Team Racing, and then you're like, oh, like there's probably a better way to do the single player stuff. It's called what they did in Sonic All Stars Racing.
Yep.
Or All Stars Racing Transformed. It's not necessarily the adventure mode. I mean, it's also like, and we'll get to it because we've got a lot of Mario sports games on the horizons. I think like the Mario golf and tennis RPGs are really cool, but like, you know, like what they did in Mario Golf on 3DS is kind of just what that RPG mode was.
Yep.
It's just that like we're not 12 on Game Boy Advance anymore.
Yes. Mischief Makers. The rare 2D game.
I forgot that was published by Nintendo as well. It's a really fun game.
Yeah.
I'll go with a 7 on that one.
Bomberman 64.
I remember the marketing for that game more than actually playing it.
That dates you.
Yeah. I forget, like, yeah, I think it was like Bomberman to Spider-Man or something like that. I might have to look up the commercial later. But I don't remember the game being that great, other than, like, it was kind of cool. I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Mole Mania. Excuse me. Shigeru Miyamoto presents Mole Mania, the sequel to Super Mario 64.
I'll give Mole Mania a 6.
Okay.
It's totally fine. It's just not like I only really got to play that at length on 3DS Virtual Console, and like I had fun with it. I can't say I left a lasting impression, but I don't remember being annoyed.
Just like we have so many Tetris games, continuing so many Kirby games, Kirby Star Stacker.
Fuck, which one is that?
You're gonna ask that a lot.
It's also because all the names, like, you could probably make them be whatever Kirby game you wanted.
Yes.
So is this okay? This is the puzzle game. I don't think it's the good. No, I'll give it I'll give it a 4.
Okay. All right, time to open a new tab and just keep it open for the rest of these streams, because there's a lot of Game and Watch galleries, and so what the fuck game is on each?
All right, so Game and Watch Gallery 1 is Manhole, Oil Panic, Octopus, and Fire.
So, Manhole, you gave a 3. Octopus, you gave a 5. Fire, you gave a 4. What was the other one?
Oil Panic.
Oil Panic, you gave a 4. So those are, of the Game & Watches, those are ones you liked.
Yeah, I will give Game & Watch Gallery 1, I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Donkey Kong Land 3.
I will give that one, I'll give that a 5, because I don't think I ever played 3.
No worries, GX. I'll just question your buying decisions. Ken Griffey Jr. presents Major League Baseball for the Game Boy.
All right, double checking what that one is. Ken Griffey Jr. Game Boy. So, I guess was this also... I do love also all the fake names in these different games. Like Baltimore Orioles pay tribute to Baltimore native John Waters. Like, the Boston Red Sox just contains members from the show Cheers.
Could.
Houston Astros are cartoonists. Gary Larson is the pitcher. Will Eisner is the second baseman. Jack Kirby is the first baseman. I miss the era where I mean, that's why I like Super Mega Baseball 3 so much, or just Super Mega Baseball so much, because they've got all the really dumb pun names and it's the best. But I've not okay, this game, I'll give this Game Boy game a 4.
Okay. King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy, which has been received as very impressive.
I'll see for myself. You know what? That looks pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I'll give that a 6.
98. Yoshi's Story.
I really like Yoshi's Story.
Oh. Okay.
Not like I'll give it a 5. I think this was the one that I popped in to watch James's stream and heard you guys just shit all over Yoshi's Story.
Sorry.
And I was there being like, oh, when I do this list, we're going to get to that point and I'm not going to be that harsh on it.
It's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think Yoshi's Story is also a game that I played when I was 10, and it was fine.
Yes.
Like,
1080 Snowboarding.
It's a pretty good game. I'll give it a 6.
Okay. Kobe Bryant in NBA Courtside.
A totally fine NBA game. I'll give it a 5.
Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr.
If I had to rank or at least my personal favorite baseball games of all time, with excluding that I understand that MLB The Show is the best simulation game there is on the planet, it would be Super Mega Baseball, it would be MVP Baseball 2005, and number 3 would probably be Major League Baseball featuring Ken Griffey Jr. I will give this game a 9.
Okay. Cruisin' World.
4.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Way better than Tooie.
Yes.
But still very flawed, as a lot of the rare Nintendo 64 games are.
And very racist, like almost every single rare game ever made.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay. How How the fuck are they still getting away with this shit with these Everwild trailers?
Yeah.
I look at these Everwild trailers and I'm like, oh, so Rare has learned absolutely nothing. Like I was thinking, when the 1X came out and all the Rare
The subject
replay,
matter because Pirates pieces of shit. Yeah, yeah.
I just went out to I went to Viva Pinata because I'm like, yeah, what could possibly go wrong here? And I was
A
like,
lot.
oh right, this game is just all tribal imagery as jokes.
Yep.
Fuck that. F-Zero X.
I will give that one an 8. I fucking love that game.
YLA Country Club True Golf Classics.
Okay. I was like N64. I don't know how to spell that.
WAIALAE.
T and E soft. That's not promising.
You know, tits and entertainment.
Yeah, yeah. They're the people who did all the bullshit on Virtual Boy that Nintendo didn't make in house.
Oh no. Oh no.
I'm gonna give this game a 2 because it looks very bad.
Okay, Ocarina of Time.
10.
F1 World Grand Prix.
What the fuck is that game?
N64. At this point, we finally have N64 games. It only took a year and a half to 2 years.
Let's see what my friend Wikipedia says about reception. Someone at N64 magazine said it's the finest driving simulation the world has ever seen. I think even at the time, I doubt that.
At the time, people were very bitter that Gran Turismo was only on PlayStation.
Yeah. It seems like it's an overly hard driving sim game. And so that doesn't sound very fun to me. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Star Wars Rogue Squadron.
A really fun video game. I'll give it a 7.
A very fun video game that unfortunately became outdated as soon as its amazing sequel landed.
Yep.
Bomberman Hero for the N64.
What did I give Bomberman? I gave Bomberman 64 a 4. I'll give this one a 5.
Yep. Okay. All right, Game Boy. James Bond 007.
I played this on an emulator years and years ago. It is not good. I'll give it a 2.
Wario Land 2.
I will give that a 5.
Pokemon Red and Blue. It's time for the second life of the Game Boy.
So, yeah, no, I got to do this from when it came out. I have to go 10 out of 10 there. Pokemon was my life for a period of time back then.
Yes. Bomberman GB. Not to be confused with Wario Blast featuring Bomberman. This is completely different. Bomberman GB.
Oh, because this is Bomberman GB2. It's just that. Oh, that's very confusing.
Yes, it is.
I'll give that a 3.
What for the fucking terrible naming convention? All right. Pokemon's come out. It's time to reset the life of the system. No more licensed bullshit. Mickey Mouse magic wands.
All right. What the fuck is this game? It's made by Kemco. Oh, it's the Crazy Castle game. Why? What? Oh my god, it's a 1993 game that they put out in 1998.
Yes.
This makes increasingly more sense. I'll give it a 3.
Tetris DX for the Game Boy Color.
I do remember Tetris DX is supposed to, like, it's a good version of the game, right?
Yes. It's not pitched so much as a sequel to Tetris, so much as it has color now.
Yeah. What did I give? Well, I think I give Tetris on Game Boy a 10 out of 10.
Something like that. It was close, if not exactly.
Yeah,
you give it a 10.
I'll give this one an 8 because it is. I mean, it's doesn't have quite the same sheen as Tetris. Because Tetris on Game Boy is like the gold standard, but this is a very good version of that game.
And it's been put out. It's a lot better than a lot of the other bullshit they've been putting out.
Yep.
Game & Watch
All right.
Gallery 2 for the Game Boy Color.
Now let's look to see what the fuck's on this one. Ball is unlockable. So,
Oh, boy.
I mean, I do like Ball.
What else is there?
Parachute, Helmet, Chef, Vermin, and Donkey Kong. You don't even need to go back and look to see.
Oh, I'm looking. There's a lot of 2s.
I was just going to say give this one a 3.
Okay. Link's Awakening DX. Their second HD remake as a company.
I'll give that one an 8.
Okay. Quest for Camelot. Game Boy Color.
I forgot they put this out, and I have totally played this game. Do not have a lot of memories of it.
They put a lot of shit out.
Yeah, they did.
Honestly,
Titus France,
yes.
A company that I think I had heard of at one point in my life, but probably forgot.
Honestly, it's like, if you want... Like, this is a really good way to brush up on your Nintendo history for, like, the first 20 years of their time in the industry.
I also will say it is developed by Titus Interactive, the company that, around the same time, made Superman 64.
Oh, I know. This game sucks ass.
Yeah, I definitely played a little bit of this game, and looking at it now, I blocked it out.
They needed launch window games for Game Boy Color. That's all it was.
Give that one a 2.
Pocket Bomberman, not to be confused with Bomberman GB, which released the same year.
What are they doing?
Wasn't it the same day? It might have been the same day.
Why? Why?
Because fuck you.
Give it a 4.
Okay. Above a 5. 99. Let's do this. Mario Party. Fuck. You're gonna get a lot of these. You're gonna get a lot.
Yeah, viewing it in the context of when this game came out.
Jesus.
No. I enjoyed Mario Party. Not like a super, but like I played a bunch of it. I will give it a 5.
Okay, I was about to say you're gonna kill me if you say 8 or higher.
No. I don't like it that much.
Super Smash Brothers.
I'll give that one an 8.
Pokemon Snap.
I will give that a 7.
Ken Griffey Jr.'s Slugfest.
Not as good as the first one, but still pretty good. Give it a 7.
Command & Conquer... Whoa, I gave that a 4 by mistake. Command & Conquer 64.
Command & Conquer 64. I don't have a memory of the N64 version. I'm blown away that fucking Nintendo put this out.
They wanted to be... This is their N64 perception. That they wanted to shake. Because they wanted to compete with PS1 and be taken seriously in that field. Because PS1 put way more pressure on them than Sega ever did.
It seems like it's a totally fine port, but I don't really know why I would want to play Command & Conquer on...
Because you don't have a PC. Because PCs were not as straightforward at the time. This is 1999.
I'll give it a 6 because it does seem like it's a pretty good port of the game.
Okay, Mario Golf 64.
It's a really good golf game. I'll give it a 7.
The New Tetris, the sequel to Tetris. It's the punchline that never ends because the sequels never end.
Oh, it's this one. I'll give it a 4.
NBA Courtside 2, featuring Kobe Bryant.
I forgot they put out a sequel to this. I'll give it a 5.
Donkey Kong 64.
Oh, God.
AKA 64 collectibles on every square inch.
It is the kind of thing that, like, I feel like there's a version of Donkey Kong 64 that's a little pared down that's totally fine. And it's a game that, like, I remember playing as a kid that I'm like, this is pretty good. And then I got deeper into it. I'm like, what the fuck did they do?
This game was fucking trash from the beginning.
I mean, I did also laugh at the story that they're telling with Funky Kong about how he went from being a hippie and then he's like running guns.
Yep.
Um, I'll give it a 3
It has
because it's
personality.
yeah, like the personality's there, and
I
I
have
feel like if it weren't for the fact that they went so collectathon heavy, like maybe that game could have been
I
good.
think
But
the playable
it's
characters also just woof.
yeah.
I and
The multiplayer was fun.
and how difficult it is, like how you have to go back somewhere to switch characters
Yep.
every time. Like, God, what a fucking terrible. I also just, in terms of the personality, I have no idea how Nintendo approved any of that shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
This is already Nintendo being really, really strict. Like, they've already gotten strict by this point, so, like, how the fuck did that thing happen? Star Wars Episode 1 Racer.
I'll give that one a 6. I like that game, and playing it on Switch last year kind of confirmed that I still like that game.
Jet Force Gemini.
That's another one where like it's close to being a good game.
Rare
Well, maybe not that close.
Rare has a
but,
lot of... You could have made this good.
Yeah, I'll give that one a 4. Once again, multiplayer was pretty fun. Turns out, Rare's pretty good at making multiplayer things.
Pokemon Yellow Special Pikachu Edition.
Um,
It's Pokemon Red and Blue. You have a Pikachu following you. It's more adapted from the anime. So it has Jesse and James.
I'll give that one a 9 because it's like once again viewing this in the time that it came out. Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon was still awesome.
Yep. Wario Land 2 for the Game Boy Color.
I think that, okay. Let's do the thing where I confirm which one I like more than the other, Wario Land 2 or 3, because there's one that when I played on 3DS Virtual Console, I was way less into. The one that has more of like the hidden exits.
Yeah, 1 second. GX, you just confirmed, you just answered your own question about why you're the Balan Wonderworld guy. It's because you responded to that by saying, I love DK64.
I love DK64. I don't care if it's weird inefficiencies, and I wash the bad taste of ukulele out of my mouth. So I will say, you have me in the back half there, because ukulele was a game that I was like, oh, it's coming to Switch. This is gonna be great. I'm gonna enjoy this. And I played like 2 levels, and I'm like, this is bad. I don't want to play this anymore.
That was a game that everyone, when it came out, everyone said this is bad, and I didn't really care about beforehand. I was like, well, I was never going to buy this anyway, but good to know. And then it came out on Game Pass, and I downloaded it and played it for 30 minutes and was like, yep, they were right.
Yep.
Game Boy Color, Wario Land 2.
Okay, so yeah, so two is the one that I don't like as much. I really like 3, and 2 is the one that I know it's one that's beloved by everybody, but I'm gonna go with a 4 on it.
Okay.
Oh shit, gotta go back to Game & Watch Gallery.
Yep, Game Watch Gallery 3, motherfucker. This is the one where they start actually putting effort in.
Egg, Greenhouse, Turtle Bridge, Mario Brothers, and Donkey Kong Jr.
I mean, the games suck ass, but like the artwork, they try and like at least make it a presentation.
Yeah.
But the games suck.
And the unlockables are also Flagman, Judge, Lion, Spitball, Sparky, and Donkey Kong 2.
Most of those gave a 1-2. Unlockable and not.
I'll give this one a 3.
Okay. Get ready. The floodgates have opened. Pokemon Pinball. It's time for Pokemania.
So this wasn't the Ruby and Sapphire one. This was the first one.
Oh yeah, this is the very Game Boy Color, very first Pokemon Pinball.
I'll give this one a 6.
Okay. Super Mario Brothers Deluxe.
Like, if you're going to make Super Mario Brothers on a portable, this is probably the best way to do it. I think it's a really playable way to kind of romp through this game and the stuff in Super Mario Brothers 2 as well. I think it's got a really nice presentation. It has that really cool 2-player mode that, yes, it's very unlikely that you'll find anybody for it.
It's really good 2-player mode.
And then, doesn't this also have a lot of, like, other challenges, too?
Yep.
Where it's like Yeah, I'll give this one an 8. It's a fucking great version of Super Mario Brothers.
The only downside, literally the only downside, is the aspect ratio.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to be like, oh, is that really a deal breaker? And no,
No.
like when this came out on 3DS Virtual Console, I like played it front to back, like
Yeah,
just had a
people
really good
like
time with it.
this is one of the rare games that were like it came out on Virtual Console and suddenly all of Twitter is like, "Yo, just go get this game on Virtual Console. You have to
Yep.
see this thing," because no one talked about it at the time. But like this thing is legit and really good. Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest GBC.
Um, I think I had this game when I was a kid. Um, let's go 6.
Mario Golf GBC.
So this would have been. Well, I forgot that both golf and like before we even got to tennis, we had golf on
Both.
Game Boy Color already.
Yep.
And this was an RPG one, right?
I think so.
So this is the thing where I guess it'll piss people off in that I do think those RPGs are really overrated. I think they're really fun, but
They're
but
not
they're
amazing.
it's not as good as the N64 version. But I still really like the way that Nintendo does golf. So 6.
Okay. All right. This next one is an adventure you got to go on. Disney's Beauty and the Beast, a board game adventure for the Game Boy Color.
What? If this is in Fortune Street, I'm out.
Oh,
All right,
this is not Fortune Street. This
click
is not
into
even
this
Mario
video.
Party.
Disney Interactive.
Just
Yeah,
like scrub through.
Left Field Productions.
Uh-huh.
What?
Scrub through.
What? All right, there's Cogsworth.
This is a nightmare.
What? How is this a board game?
It's a board game like Shoots and Ladders is.
Oh, why?
It shoots and ladders with mini games. That's it. Single player.
All right, give this a 1.
Nintendo put that out because they had the Disney movie license. And that's what they funded.
At least like the Mickey racing game on N64 wasn't that bad.
Speaking of Mickey's Racing Adventure GBC.
All right, let's see what this one is. Oh, okay, another a rare game.
Why didn't they get the Beauty and the Beast property?
Okay, it's like RC Pro Am a little bit. That's kind of neat. I'll give this one a 4.
NBA 3-on-3 featuring Kobe Bryant GBC.
Did not know this game came out. It's humorously enough, not the first Nintendo published game to have 3-on-3 NBA basketball, because there was also Mario Hoops 3-on-3.
Well, you say not the first. Mario Hoops 3-on-3 is much later.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't know that this game existed.
Yes.
God, left field, mildly prolific.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
did more than I thought. This game doesn't look that great though. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Episode 1 Racer GBC.
Forgot that happened as well.
Episode 1 was everything. Everything that everything that the sun touches, Episode 1 will reach.
All right, let's go look at this long play. Nope. 2.
Shadowgate Classic GBC.
This is something about this came up recently. I'm gonna try to see if I can look at stuff about this and see why it.
99 was a hell of a year.
Yeah, because they were just kind of throwing shit at the wall.
Can we get under 5 on the year that gave us Super Smash Brothers? And Pokemon Yellow and Super Mario Brothers Deluxe.
It's the kind of thing where, like, I think that Shadowgate Classic is a cool version of Shadowgate, but what does that even translate to? Because I don't really think I think Shadowgate isn't that great to begin with. I'll give it a 3.
Okay. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 3.
Another fucking Crazy Castle game. Give it a 3.
R-Type DX. Yes, we will hit over 5.
Yeah, because I believe R-Type DX is pretty good.
It is.
Yeah, give R-Type DX a 6.
5.04.
All right, I think let's do the year 2000, and then I think I'm done for the night.
Sounds good. Hey You Pikachu.
2.
James gave it a 1 on the metric of it doesn't function.
I've seen it function. Like that's
Yes. Pokemon Stadium, which is our localized version of Pokemon Stadium 2 in Japan.
All right. I need to look to see what kind of other content was there.
Minigames.
You know what? Like, I'll just. It's late. I'm tired. I never really enjoyed. It was cool seeing Pokemon in 3D. That was the only cool thing about Pokemon Stadium. Let's give it a fucking 3.
Okay. You're going to get so many Pokemon games this year. Mario Party 2.
I'll give that one 6.
Ridge Racer 64.
This is a game that I know I have played, but I do not remember anything
It's no
about.
Type 4.
And I'll give it a 4.
Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards.
I'll give that one a 7. I like that game.
Majora's Mask.
Oh, this is tough. I did not like Majora's Mask when I first played it. But I played it. I know there are a lot of differences between the N64 version and the 3DS version, but the 3DS version with the Bomber's Notebook and shit, like, put that game into a context that I fell in love with it. I've had that thought of like I should go back and replay the N64 version to see like would I like it more now.
Life's short, you don't have the time.
Yeah, I did not have the patience for that. I still like love the mood and style of that game, but it is something that I guess I just need to be factually correct with the fact that I bounced off it so hard when I played it back when it came out. I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
And feel really bad about it, but it's just that's my reaction in 2000.
Excite Bike 64.
I'll give that one a 6.
StarCraft 64.
Oh god. I'll give that one a 5.
Mario Tennis 64.
That's a really fun multiplayer game, and it's got a lot of other I think that's got all the ring shot shit in it too. Give that a 7.
Pokemon Puzzle League.
That's okay. What are the? Gotta confirm what the.
That is Panel de Pon.
Okay, it's just Panel de Pon. Isn't there one? Or was that Japan only? If I remember, that's a pretty good Panel de Pon game.
It is. Panel de Pon on the 64.
Yeah, I'll give that a 7.
It has low quality JPEGs from the anime in the background.
Yeah,
Mickey's
I remember
Speedway
that.
USA.
5.
Banjo.
It handles like Diddy Kong Racing. Like Mickey Speedway USA is totally fine.
Banjo Tooie.
I'll give that one a 3.
Perfect Dark.
The only good thing about Banjo Tooie is I love the joke of just like Bottles just dies in the beginning.
Yes.
And then they're just like, well, he's just dead, and they just move on, and he's a ghost. But Perfect Dark, I will give that one. I'll give that a 9. I would give it a 10 if it didn't like feel. It's like the Star Fox on Super Nintendo problem.
Yep, totally.
But Perfect Dark on Perfect Dark. If we were to, I don't know, for some reason talk about Xbox Live Arcade games, like Perfect Dark might be one of my favorite Xbox 360 games.
Hell yeah.
Because like playing that online and playing it where like it just ran fine. That's what makes me so sad about that GoldenEye game. Because if you were to just take like what GoldenEye was, single player, multiplayer, same with Perfect Dark, and then just make it so like it ran at a constant frame rate on modern consoles, like that's what I want out of a first person shooter.
Pokemon trading card game for Game Boy Color.
I played a bunch of this on 3DS Virtual Console. I don't think it's outstanding.
Got weirdly solid music.
I think it's really fun. I'll give it a 6.
Pokemon Gold and Silver.
This was the era of Pokemon that started to lose me, which is not to say that I think Gold and Silver are bad. It's more that I would have been in an age where I did not have control as much of what I was buying because I was still young. and I burned really I burned really hard on Pokemon on Red and Blue, and Yellow, and played the shit out of those games. This would have been around the era where I like the brief time where I wasn't playing and paying attention to new video games as much as I had in the past. So I kind of missed Gold and Silver, went back and played them around when Ruby and Sapphire came out, and then kind of got back into it. And then Diamond and Pearl is when I kind of just settled into I guess I'm just going to buy every Pokemon game when it comes out. But it was just because I was like really satisfied by just replaying Red and Blue.
Gotcha.
But I will give Gold and Silver an 8.
Bionic Commando Elite Forces.
I played this game when it came out. It's totally fine. I'll give it a 6.
Wario Land 3.
This is the one that I like a lot. I will give this one an 8.
Crystallis.
Oh God. I knew this was coming. I'll give this one. Is the Game Boy? Because I most recently played Crystallis in the SNK collection.
It's not that one.
I was gonna say, is it the Game Boy Color version just fucking bad, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. I'll give this one a 3.
Warlocked.
What the fuck is that? Warlocked. Game Boy Color. Bit Studio, who are you? This is an RTS? It won Best Game Boy Strategy by IGN in 2000. Seems like a very packed group. Apparently a sequel was planned for Game Boy Advance called Wizards, and it was canceled.
Wizards!
Oh, Gerstmann was not positive on this game.
Gee, I wonder why.
I will give this a 3.
Is that what he gave it?
No, I should see. I'm just looking at the reception. Let's see. Can I find his GameSpot review? Oh no, he gave it a 6.6 out of 10.
Based on how their algorithm works, that meant he hated it.
Yeah.
Because that was the way their system worked was like you have to give an objective score for graphics, an objective score for sound, and at the end, if you got one last score, which was called Reviewer's Tilt, where you could adjust it in the average in case you thought that the score had come out too high or too low. Which means that if it came out as 6.6, that is a low Reviewer's Tilt. Pokemon Puzzle League, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th Pokemon game to come out this year.
It's almost like it was very popular.
Pokemon Puzzle Challenge.
Okay, this was just paneled upon, but it's in color this time. I will give that a 7.
The Little Mermaid 2 Pinball Frenzy.
Okay, so there's the Disney license again. I like how it's based on the Little Mermaid 2. Once again, it's left field.
Yes.
Wow.
This is what they do.
This doesn't look great. I'll give it a 2.
Alice in Wonderland for the GBC.
I wonder if left field made this one.
I got good news.
Digital Eclipse.
Yes.
Oh no, left field is involved.
Yes, I got good news.
Is this just okay? It's a fucking platformer. And
Yes.
it does have Game Boy printer support. And
Yeah,
also looking at this,
that's what James called out too. Was like, wait, what the fuck?
I do love this that under the reception on Wikipedia, Alice in Wonderland was a runner-up for GameSpot's annual Best Game Boy Color game.
What, compared to, against Pokemon Gold and Silver?
It apparently lost to Dragon Warrior 1 and 2.
What? Pokemon Gold and Silver and Wario Land 3 were the same year.
I gotta see. I really wish I could. Okay, I'm here. I found this. Oh my god, Wayback Machine GameSpot. Holy shit. Platform awards. Let's see, is this still gonna work? Their best PS2 game was SSX.
Sure. 2000, that checks out.
Um, oh god, you have to click a new page for everything.
Yes, you do.
Let me go to Game Boy. No, I don't want to go to the best Dreamcast. Fuck you.
Was it like, here's the 10 runners-up?
Yeah. Okay, I got to best Game Boy Color game. So Dragon Warrior 1 and 2. The runners-up were Wario Land 3,
Uh-huh.
Donkey Kong Country,
Yeah, that's next.
and Alice in Wonderland, Street Fighter Alpha.
Uh-huh.
Where the fuck is Pokemon, you weirdos? At least Chrono Cross got Game of the Year.
They gave that a 10, but they didn't realize what they were doing. The story of how that game got a 10 on GameSpot is hilarious. Because they farmed it out to a freelance reviewer, and it came back with a 10, and they had conversations with that freelance reviewer being like, what, are you serious? Like a 10? And they're like, yeah, dude, yeah. And so they gave it a 10, they ran the 10, and all the fucking comments were like, wait, what? Why? And they went back to the reviewer, and it's like, is there a reason that you thought this game was like almost flawless? And he's like, almost flawless? No, I just had a good time. And that's one of the only, that was like the second 10 they ever gave after Ocarina.
Jesus. And so it's the kind of thing where like I fucking love Chrono Cross. Not because it's a 10 out of 10 game.
Yes.
One, the soundtrack is a 10 out of 10. The battle system is pretty good. The bonkers ass ridiculousness of the story and all the characters and everything, like that shit ain't a 10 out of 10. That's a big part of the game. Do I love it? Yes. Not because it's great, because it's also just the fact that Chrono Cross exists as a game where it's Masato Kato flipping the middle finger to everybody who likes Chrono Trigger and just making his own fucking game. And I respect that.
So apparently Alice in Wonderland is fine?
I guess. I still am only going to give it a 3.
Okay. They liked it more than they liked Pokemon.
I don't know why Pokemon's even there. I'm so confused. I will say, the Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 ports, awesome.
Yes. And then
I think there's a debate if you wanted to be like, oh, maybe these are better than Gold and Silver. Like, I think it's a weird one. Even as me coming here, not having Gold and Silver as high.
But to put Alice in Wonderland over those games.
Yeah.
And then lastly, DKC on GBC, which, so, to be clear, Donkey Kong Land...
This is not Donkey Kong Land. This is not the Game Boy Advance version of Donkey Kong Country that were to come out later.
Yes, this is the GBC version of Donkey Kong Country, which is right in the middle. They have a lot of versions of this.
I do think this is one of those ones where it's a technically impressive port of a game that I wouldn't really want to play in Game Boy Color. Which
you gave the source material a 5.
I'll
feel
give it
like
a 3.
I feel like unless this is you legitimately think this game is better than its source.
I mean, it's not like I mean, it is like all of the weird Donkey Kong ports to Game Boy. Like, it's impressive, but they're really like, oh my god, the Donkey Kong Land games are. I've a lot of memories of like, where the fuck did that enemy come from? Like, I couldn't see that on this black and white screen. Why would you do this?
Yes. So let me find your highest score. Oh no.
I'm gonna say it's probably early to mid 90s.
94 is a 5.6.
That makes sense. Fucking 95.
Yeah. 89 is a .004 higher.
Because what? So 89 had
Tetris.
Okay.
And Dragon Warrior.
And it didn't have a lot of shit games.
Yes, it only had 13 games. Again, the one with fewer games will almost always score a higher average. Is 89?
Yeah, especially if there's a 10 there.
Yes, 89 is your highest. 94 is 5.611, and 89 is 5.615.
Wow.
That is
I
as
think
high as...
94 had Super Metroid and...
It had hits like Super Metroid and Super Pinball and
Wario's
Space
Woods.
Invaders and Stunt Race FX and Uniracers.
Oh, and that also had DK94, so that's why I had 2 10s in there. That's part of the reason why it's that high. Because that also had a lot of shit to overcompensate
It sure did.
Fucking Uniracers.
Yes. I mean, again, you want to get to like where quote unquote modern Nintendo's going to start. That's going to be 2002.
Yeah, because I mean, it's very telling that modern Nintendo starts around when Iwata becomes president.
Yes, I mean 2001. They have 5 N64 games, 4 GameCube games, about 7 Game Boy Color games, 7 Game Boy Advance games,
oh my
and
God,
4
all the
Pokemon
fucking
minis.
Pokemon minis. God damn it!
So before we come back to this in part 2, make sure to familiarize yourself with the 4 Pokemon minis that came out in the United States. Thank you so much for joining. We've been trying to get this going for a while, but totally understand. Family obviously comes first.
It is a miracle that my son has not woken up during this. It was a rough while, but now he's getting to the point where he at least sleeps through the night. He just wakes up at 6 a.m.
You know.
But now we've worked it. We used to have a recliner in his bedroom. Now we switched to the recliner with a couch.
Ooh.
So when he wakes up at 6 a.m., one person, usually me, because I'm the one who's not carrying a new child, I will just go in there and sleep on the couch for an hour or two. And then he's usually fine. He's fine when someone's in the room with him. And that's why now bedtime is hanging out with him until he falls asleep and then sneaking out the door.
Yep.
Love kids.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.